Alright, hello everyone. Today, just gonna go over the Proquest list for Marlynn. But before we get into that, I'm just gonna start off with the game, just in case people give people some time to join. Then we'll do kind of like a Proquest recap. Let me log back 1 second. Technical difficulties. Log in.
Still on stream pretty soon.
It's still on stream starting soon. Oh, hold on. Am I in studio mode? I'm not. I don't think I'm in studio mode. Is it still stream starting soon for you? Okay, cool. All right, T can confirm we are streaming. Good to know. Okay, let's go ahead and start off with the game. All right. I think Marlynn's real, personally. I don't know. I top 8'd 3 times. I think the first Proquest was I think 5 rounds, but the other two were 6 rounders. I think it was like 33 people and 38 people last two. So I think like the deck is like kind of real. I do think that there's like a lot of like weird variants that the deck has. KO is pretty easy. Let's go ahead and just bring in big boys. But it's my personal opinion. I think the deck is like quite real. Right, so they're gonna choose to go first. Sounds a little low. I can try to up that a bit. Actually, let me hold on. I'm gonna try to duplicate my sound. Actually, let me turn this off and this one on. Or no, sorry. All right, I'm gonna make a new sound. Let me know if that's any louder, or if that's better, or too loud. Yeah, it should hopefully be a little bit better now. Let me know if that's a bit better. You really want to play Marlynn, but you're scared of the meta. I don't think the meta is like that hostile towards Marlynn. You do have to like practice a lot of the kind of bigger or like the more represented matchups a bit. But I think like overall, I feel like the deck's still pretty strong. I think I'm actually, since I have 2 drill shots in hand, I think I'm actually just like pitching 1 drill shot here. Okay, instant value right there. Even if they attack me with the show of strength, we just blockade on it. Super easy. Wow, that was like actually huge for us. Let's go ahead and loan shark. Right, gold baited hook. Easy king shark on turn 0. Not bad, not bad. Yeah, I think like you kind of you have to be a little bit scared playing Marlynn in the meta. Like I think there are a lot of decks that are hostile towards her, like Earth or just like D-React piles in general. Gravy's also really tough. But if you can manage to dodge the gravies, I think like this deck is actually like really solid. I think, and you can still kind of like high roll gravy just like randomly out of nowhere. I don't know. I think the deck is like better than a lot of people give it credit for. But again, I'm kind of biased since I have a lot of reps on it. Oh, just wanted to say thanks for all the content. I got into Fab with High Seas and have been like the local Marlynn nut for weeks, but the new list has people looking at the deck different. I agree. Like I think the new list is like really solid. I don't know. I've got a lot of like surprise reactions this weekend from Marlynn, like at least across like the 3 Proquests I went to. I think that the deck like has surprised a lot of people, and I think like the deck like is not like tech low tier like trash, right? Like it's a very playable deck. The like issue is just like honestly just like certain cards in the format, which we'll kind of talk on a little bit later in kind of like the ProQuest recap. But I think like there are certain cards that like do gatekeep Marlynn a little bit, like more than she should be. But we're gonna discuss that in a little bit. And struggling to get sorry, let me read the messages. Rats on this weekend. Seeing you tear it up on Sunday. Unfortunately, we both lost right away in top 8. Yeah, it was a little unfortunate. It's okay though. You know, you practice, you live, you learn. But I don't know. I think the deck is like pretty real. Oh, okay. I guess we have to order our triggers there, and we're taking the strongest survive. No issues there. Cool. But yeah, I think the deck is like pretty damn real. At least it feels real to me. Like we're sitting on 5 gold also, which is kind of funny. Um, but yeah, I think the deck is real. I'm hopefully trying to at least make the deck look more real than it maybe is. But yeah, I think the deck is like real solid. Been struggling to get back tempo once I lose it in matchups with relevant on hits. Yeah, tempo is like a big thing with this deck. I think this deck. Oh, so they show of strength and they have a random blue clash card in hand. I don't think we care about this, but I do also kind of want to just block just to get this out of hand. But this is also not like a terrible arsenal. So I think we're actually just like sending it here. Yeah, this isn't a huge issue. But yeah, I think like this deck does heavily reward you for understanding like when to like give up tempo and when to like keep tempo. So like these last 2 hands, right? We have 2 big harpoons, so we're like just sending tempo like 10, 13. That's like a good sign to like step on the brakes. But when you have like bad hands that are like 4 blues, oftentimes it's like better like give up tempo and just like set up for a better turn, especially against decks that are running like a lot of D-Rex and stuff. I think like this deck heavily does reward you for understanding, I guess, like kind of the flow of the game. All right, so they're just gonna claw here for 4. That's not a big deal. But I do think this deck like does heavily reward you for understanding like what point in the game you're at and like what you can do to like kind of capitalize on it, which I think is really cool. But yeah, I think it's like one of the issues with this deck is like you can't just keep full tempo like Syndra all the time, right? You do have to like let up on the gas some turns, and sometimes you do get like punished for that against like certain decks and stuff like that. Manable Claw coming in. I think I'm still just fine like arsenaling a Bluefin Harpoon. It's still like pretty good in KO. Could Pummel come in, or is that is the real lie? That is the real lie. Oh yeah. Pummel. I don't know. I think like Blue Pummel is probably the most reasonable Pummel. Just because like you can like randomly just get it. The only issue is like 3 oak turns. Like I feel like often if you were to bring in like Blue Pummel, you'd probably be pitching it a lot more than you end up like playing it. So I think here we're just gonna take a setup turn, set up the Bluefin, just send 13. We might as well just throw in the hook here because I don't think KO can realistically block 10, or like they can realistically block 13. They have only 7 armor. They can block 10 at most, so the gold bait hook is pretty much guaranteed at this point. Unless they have like no fear or something random. But if they do, they break our hook. I don't think that's that big of a deal. But yeah, I've been like I don't know if y'all saw this weekend, but there was a Marlynn Proquest win. We're also going to talk about that deck briefly, although I don't want to talk about it too much because I want that person to like kind of do their own deck tech. So we're not going to like play that list, but Marlynn did get some Proquest points this weekend. I think it was in Brazil. I think it was from Diego Souza. So if you haven't seen this list, I think it's on like just the deck list page in Fab TCG. I encourage you to all check this out. Like this is I think very different from like the quote unquote like solved list that we've been like kind of talking about in recent weeks. So it's interesting to see like this list take down a Proquest, which is really cool. Kind of just maybe shows that there's still like a bit of like deck building left in Marlynn, and like there's still definitely some like different avenues you can go to depending on like your local meta and stuff. So I think this list is still really cool. But yeah, I still kind of like my list for various reasons, and maybe it's like pilot difference, stuff like that. Oh, the winner is your local. Great guy. Oh, nice. I'm glad. I'm waiting for the deck tech to come out on that, so that I can like repost or whatever. Because I think that's gonna be like a really cool moment, I guess, in Marlynn history, like the first deck to actually get points. But yeah, I'm super excited that she actually did get some points, so she feels like a little bit more real, I guess. But yeah, big shout out to that guy. All right, we got a Beast Within. It's an interesting block. They didn't really have to block here, but I guess it's fine. So they're probably gonna CNCS next turn, which we might care about. Don't really have to care though. Probably just like block 6 with the C4 salvage and then just like put X Bluefin Harpoon. But yeah, I think it's really cool that she got some points this weekend. I'm super excited about that. So they have a red Buckwild going to be an arsenal. We have a lot of gold, so it actually might end up cracking a bit of gold next turn. Like we have basically the 5-int Marlynn play here, where we can like pitch a blue and then have Tunic and then turn this blue into 2 random cards basically. They're kind of like this block. And then I think we can pretty safely give up on the Sea Lice here. I feel like Sea Lice more often than not is just like Blade Break 2 majority of the time, and then in certain matchups you sometimes get the added benefit. But yeah, I'm super excited that Marlyn got some points this weekend. Again, I was trying myself to get her some points, but unfortunately the deck sometimes just doesn't cooperate very well. All right, let's get a little bit greedy here. Looking for like a buff off the top, but if we don't hit a buff, it's not the end of the world. 3 oak. Interesting. 3 oak's not a bad arsenal target. What we could actually do is cycle the port side here now to refresh our gold this turn, and then just play the 3 oak. Now we can also, because we drew the blue, we can just like Codex Arsenal 3 oak anyways and just give them a blood rot. Yeah, I think we're probably just fine holding. I want to kind of like Arsenal the 3 oak more than anything. And then we made a gold this turn, so hook is free for 8. So this maybe buys the last of their armor plus a 3 block from hand. Then we know they have Buckwild and Arsenal. I haven't seen their codexes yet, though. But yeah, super excited about this list. I might try it at some point, or I might like just play with it offline. But yeah, I'm currently just waiting for Diego's deck tech to come out before I try to play it myself. One thing I also wanted, so this is actually the PQ list that I brought basically to Proquest this weekend. I think it's like very slightly different because I think one of the Proquests I did have eye, the other Proquest I didn't have eye. Currently I'm playing the no eye list, which I think pretty much the exact same. So I basically just like moved authority into the main deck and then cut eye and then like added some extra sideboard fluff. But for the most part, it's like pretty much the same deck list. And eye main deck is like surprisingly not bad if you're not running eye or like you don't have access to it. So definitely some good data, at least on like what fables you need. Like I think authority is actually like semi-important. Right, interesting. They're gonna give us the armor here. So I'm imagining they maybe just don't have blues in hand, or maybe they can't block. Oh, sorry, we have to do this. Okay. They could have blocked with the blue here, but they chose not to. You could also just block with the or no, you can't block with the reckless. Oh, okay, so I see what the problem is here. So they probably should have blocked the blue there regardless, but their entire hand blocks 0. I didn't realize reckless stampede was 0 block. That's fascinating. All right, Arsenal to take aim, hold the 3 oak. All right, really good hand. But yeah, I think on the last turn, I think my opponent should have blocked with the Smash Instinct and then just like not given armor. Unless they wanted to like use Savage Sass or something. But it's been interesting. I feel like there's maybe a slightly better play there. But maybe we're benefiting a little bit from people not knowing what Marlyn cards do, which is also entirely reasonable. Okay. Right, coming in with the Reckless. It's wild I didn't know this was a 0 block. For some reason, I just like assumed this was a 3 block. But I guess it kind of makes sense. Like the card is definitely pretty good. But we'll see no blocks here.
Wait, that's a 0 block?
Yeah. Did you know this is a 0 block?
I mean, I don't. No, of course not.
Okay, well, team doesn't know FAB cards. That's fine. But I feel like I should have known.
I clicked like, why would I know that? I clicked Nano.
That's a good point. That is a good point. So we have the take game here. It's interesting because I kind of want to take aim the Codex, but I also like could see myself just take aiming a buff. We could also just like draw cards and see what happens. Let's draw like 2 cards. All right, another Codex is not helpful. Draw 2 cards and see what happens. All right, port side. We actually port side away to Codex, which is kind of funny. Probably wrong though. Let's just take aim. Take aim Codex, discard port side, and then like 3 oak. I think this kind of makes sense. It's a little bit suspect. All right, good enough. And go ahead and hook this. Nice casual 17. It does feel weird running a Taya into KO. But I think I wanted to like try to find some extra sideboard slots for like warriors and gravy in general. So I moved it into the main deck. But I think it's like kind of fine against the majority of decks. Like there's some decks that don't run D-Reacts, like KO for instance, but like a lot of other decks like just will run any D-Reacts they have into Marlin anyways. So like it doesn't actually feel all that bad to just like if you don't have Eye, run a tie instead. Um, but I think a lot of people have actually kind of like touched on a big issue with this deck is that like how pricey this is for like the power level you're getting, which feels not incredibly high. So I actually wanted to try to collect some data this week just on. Oh, interesting. Okay, so they don't really have the opportunity to Blood Rush. I don't want to just take the Stampede here. Take the Stampede, I guess. Pitch doesn't matter. Arsenal the gold the tip. But yeah, I'd say we're probably in a pretty good spot against this KO. I don't think they've been able to resolve a Blood Rush too, which makes me feel a lot more comfortable in this matchup. But like, I think like this matchup is really a matter of like who sees their power cards first, basically. I think our opponent might not know that they can't play Blood Rush, which is unfortunate. So you're gonna go for the Buckwild. Let's go again. Arsenal Blood Rush. Makes sense. I think here we're gonna try to crack like 3 gold, like turn these 2 blues into like 2 blues plus buff. Would be ideal scenario, and then we get to like Arsenal the Redfin or load the Redfin and send it. I could be thinking on Claw here, but that's probably not worth it. Trading my gold foil bolters for an eye and open my authority and feel really nice having spent bit money on riches and bling. Nice, nice. Yeah, congrats again on your Proquest finish. It's pretty awesome. Verdance is a menace. I will say that. This I did actually do pretty well against the Verdance this weekend though. On this deck. It felt like that one match felt very, very good for me. I don't know if things just like lined up super well for me, but it's given me a little bit more confidence in this matchup. So this is actually like a good trophy hand. Bringing out Marlyn, just in a big Goldfin Harpoon. Yep, works for me. So we discard, I guess. Do we discard here? I guess just the premium. I mean, this is probably just gonna kill anyways, right? I guess we can discard the lace. But yeah, pretty nice little Goldfin here. Casual 19 Goldfin. Yeah, the fish woman calls to me too. I know how it feels. Oh, we also got some really cool things we're working on as well. I don't know if this might be the first time that people have seen this. Well, let me actually pull up the art we're working on. So we're actually commissioning an artist to like make a custom Marlyn token, and I think people are going to be really excited about it. So let me find that. I open this. Okay, yeah, I think our opponent might be dead. But this is the I don't know if people can see this. Yeah, you can see this. But yeah, we're currently working on like getting like a Marlyn like art token commissioned, and like the whole idea is going to be like Marlyn wearing like streetwear with like a bunch of like graffiti in the background and stuff like that. So we're pretty stoked about like this token that we're like getting like professionally done, which is awesome. So yeah, I know people are going to be pretty excited about this token, so I'm also pretty excited about it too. Okay, yeah, but I guess enough on the Marlyn token. We're gonna put that out once it's like getting closer to finish, but I think it's still like really cool. All right, so I wanted to do kind of like a Proquest recap, and let me actually just take a look at chat real quick. I know you're obviously speaking from a Proquest grinding perspective when you talk about price, but I'll say someone who can't afford that shit, the deck does not feel that bad without it. Yeah, so that's actually one thing I want to touch on today. So I think today what I want to try to do is actually get data for a no fables Marlyn list and just like try to collect games on that list. But I wanted to go over like my Proquest list first because this is like the competitive list, like the list that people I guess like if you have the money, which is like again a kind of ridiculous amount of money. If you have the money to play this deck, like I think the deck at its optimal level is like you do kind of need the fables, but without the fables, I want to try to collect data on I guess like how much the fables actually like influence the win percentage. But yeah, this deck is like too expensive as it is now. I fully agree that like Marlin should probably not cost as much as like what 4 PlayStations or like 5 PlayStations. Oh, good token. Yeah, thank you. I'm so excited about that token. That token is gonna be awesome. But anyways, Marlin should not cost $2,000. That's what I wanted to talk about today. And I also wanted to collect some data. So if I go to my decks, actually, I have a no fables Marlin list. So I'm calling this a budget-ish list because this is still $700, which is still like way too much money for a deck. But I think that this deck captures a lot of the same play patterns without like the fables, which are like prohibitively expensive. So I think this deck also, like, a lot of the money comes from generics. I want to try to play this deck today mostly, but let's go back to, I guess, the Proquest list, and we're kind of just going to do like a little Proquest recap in the meantime. So Proquest notes. So I think this Proquest one was from last weekend. I think I already covered it, so we're not going to talk too much on that. But I did have a second, I guess, Proquest report. So I went to 2 Proquest tokens this week, or 2 Proquests this weekend. The first one was, I think, like a 33-person Proquest, which it was 6 rounds, and then the second Proquest was also, I think it was like 38. So we got another 6-round Proquest, which is a lot of fab. Typically preferred like the 5-round Proquest more than anything, but it's good practice at least, right? So I wanted to go over, I guess, like the Proquest number 2 first. So this one was on Saturday. And my matchups, I think, were 5, Verdance, Vincent, Syndra, Levia, and Kasai. And I think I basically did pretty well in Swiss. I ended up, I think, being 2nd seed going into top 8, which is really cool. So I played against some pretty good players. I played against Brian, who's a really good local on Verdance. Played against Easton, who is also really good at Syndra as well. And then we got like just some other locals as well. All really good players. I think my one loss that Swiss was to Levia, and Levia like is proving to be like against like a really good Levia player. To be fair, with the 4 PlayStation comparison, at least with the Marlon deck, you can play games. That's true. That's a good point.
That's very funny.
That is very funny. Yeah.
That's an extremely funny thing to say.
But anyways, I felt like pretty good about Swiss for this first Proquest. I think my only loss was to Levia, and a lot of close games like here and there. I think the Verdance game was also, my opponent got like a little bit unlucky on like the Strides turn where they couldn't just like present 9 damage. I think because they drew a bunch of reds basically. But Levia I think is like proving to be like actually like kind of a difficult matchup just because like Carrion Husk, this matchup is like not the same as like KO, right? Like you basically like they get 1 free turn to basically like block out whatever you do, and then like you after the Husk turn you have to like continually disrupt them, which is really difficult. But yeah, Levia proving to be quite difficult. And yeah, so basically this first Proquest did pretty well in Swiss, got to 2nd seed for the event. And then had a Syndra rematch that I lost to basically Warmongers, which is a little unfortunate. Basically got my opponent to, I think, 1 health on Syndra through like a Blood Rot Pox. And then like I basically had like a 5-card hand. Opponent had like 2 cards in hand, which was like Ravenous Rabble plus a Warmongers. Got Warmongers. I think I like pondered into a big game trophy shot as well. So like I could not actually like play around the Warmongers really. And I think my opponent like didn't present it in the first game we played. So in the Syndra rematch, basically like Warmongers took me from, I think I was like 8 health towards the end of that game to like I basically just like died after the Warmongers, which is like crazy. One thing that I'm like realizing about Marlyn is like how soft she is to Warmongers. Like she doesn't have like the Azalea thing where like you can do like long draw half club, right? Let me actually pull up that card. It's like long draw. I think Azalea had like a bit more play with like long draw, right? Because you can like put 2 cards from your hand or arsenal on the bottom of your deck. Your next arrow attack this turn gets +4, and then like Marlyn could like, or then Azalea could like load with Death Dealer and still send like a pretty decent sized like arrow back, right? But like Marlyn doesn't have that counterplay because like the way Marlyn loads is through actions, right? So like we make a bunch of gold, that's an action. We can't activate through Warmongers. The only things that we can do through Warmongers like war-wise are we can activate Hammerhead, and we can basically also activate or like just basically send the arrow itself, right? And then the one card that like can get us out of Warmongers is like Quiver. But Quiver is like a very like RNG based way to get out of Warmongers, and it also like doesn't help you if you like already have an arsenal for Warmongers. So like one consistent theme throughout the weekend is like anytime my opponent played Warmongers, I basically lost like 10 health, which is like crazy. It's like crazy how bad Warmongers is against Marlyn and like how soft she is to it. Yeah, Tipple I think is another way you can potentially help, like Tipple from Arsenal or something. I experimented with Potion of Luck as a Warmonger's counter a bit. It was Mambus. Like, yeah, I agree. Like a lot of the ways that we have to actually like get around Warmongers are like actually quite bad. Like, I feel like there's maybe some opportunity space in like the quiver to like give a way for Marlyn to like work around Warmongers. Like maybe like theoretical quiver, right? Like maybe some quiver that lets you like swap a card in your hand and in your arsenal so that you always have the ability to like put an arrow into arsenal. Like that would be a way so you don't just lose like full tempo, right? Um, but yeah, like I think that like this deck as it currently is like profoundly softened to Warmongers. I did actually discover some new tech this weekend. So the first time I got Warmongers against Syndra, I think I had like 8 gold on the field and I just like didn't do this. But one thing you can do against Warmongers, and this is like some secret Marlyn tech, right? Is you can basically, if you're sitting on a pile of like 8 gold, or I think I was sitting on like 8 or 6 gold in like both of my Syndra games where I lost. But basically what you can do is you can like crack a bunch of gold through Warmongers. Like you declare peace, you have a couple blues in hand, you're sitting on like 6 or 8 gold, and you can basically turn basically how the math works, right, is like you turn 2 blues into 3 cards, right? So what you can do, so you turn 2 blues, 3 gold into an extra card, basically. So what you can do if you're under Warmongers and you choose peace, and you're sitting on like a bunch of gold, like I have the past couple games, is you can actually like crack gold until you get to like seven cards in hand, and then you just pass because you don't have to like discard it in a turn in Fab, right? Like the same way you like do in Magic. So one thing you can do is like if you're sitting on a bunch of gold and you have Warmongers, you can actually like give yourself extra cards in hand, which is really interesting. It didn't actually like end up mattering or like winning me the game, but it is like forbidden tech that you can do, which is kind of cool. Marlyn on top, we're lit. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty proud of myself for getting like 3 Proquest wins this week, or not Proquest wins, but Proquest top 8s. Not quite that far, but I'm still pretty happy that I like top 8'd consistently 3 different events. But yeah, it's super funny that you can do like the 7 int Marlyn trick with Warmongers. Again, it's like I think it's like a game design oversight more than anything, because like I think Marlyn should have, like, or Ranger in general, right, should have some way to like actually meaningfully play around or like do something about Warmongers other than just like actually losing the game the turn is played, right? Like if I have like a big trophy shot in Arsenal and my opponent plays Warmongers, I lose a turn, right? Which I don't think is like their intended way for Warmongers to work, right? I think they wanted Warmongers to like reduce the power of like attack non-attack decks without completely just like ruining their turn. But against like this deck, it like actually does feel like you're completely just like not able to play the game, which is rough. Yeah, quiver that bullseyes would also be nice, or some way to like yeah, every other ranger has had a way to load through armor. You know, like yeah, exactly, right? Like there needs to like there's a crucial piece missing of Marlyn's kit that I don't think they actually like maybe fully realized, where like she is like you cannot actually play around Warmongers, which is like really rough. Like not in the same way that any other ranger can play around Warmongers. So yeah, that's like one I think like major design gap in Marlyn, is that like I think she needs like some way to like meaningfully play around Warmongers that isn't just like pass the turn or crack 6 gold and draw 2 cards, I guess, or something like that. Like I don't know, it feels pretty bad. So I think like 2 of my losses this weekend were specifically to Warmongers. So one was in Syndra in top 8. Another one was actually in Swiss. So let's move on to, I guess, the next Proquest. So this was, I think, a little bit larger of a Proquest. So this was like a 38 person event. Pretty cool. So this was a 6-rounder. I think I basically lost second round of Swiss to Phi just due to a Warmongers, which again time walked me in a very similar fashion to the top 8 deck Syndra. So I think like the deck just really soft to Warmongers right now, unless you just get lucky and are able to like Arsenal and Arrow or like Quiver or something. But again, I think I like to highlight these because like these 2 losses I don't feel like were necessarily like play gap, more so just like my opponent had the tech, they drew it, like I couldn't really play around it. I've heard of similar tech. Lexi used to chain 3 oaks to kill fatigue gold. Oh yeah. It's exactly the same tech as that, right? Like you chain 3 oaks, you basically draw a bunch of cards in hand, and then you like pass, right? And then on your next turn, you like send a bunch of damage with like your massive card hand, right? Yeah, so I think it's actually very similar to that. I think you hit the nail on the head there. like you basically just draw a bunch of cards so that you can kind of play around warmongers. But like I don't think it's like I don't think it like actually won me the game that weekend. It's just like a funny piece of tech you can do, which is hilarious. But I tried it in at least against the 5 warmongers. So this is where I actually like implemented a tech that I thought about in the top 8 of yesterday, or the last ProQuest. And against the 5, like I still ended up losing the game, but like it was kind of funny that I just was able to draw a bunch of cards, even though I like died the next turn or whatever. But like still interesting tech at least. Once again, you can pick Weiss or Pear to get around Angers. Yeah, I think that would be pretty funny. I saw that there were like the War and Peace Judge tokens too, which are like those are really good BM. I think if you're playing against like a Marlyn player. But yeah, back to the ProQuest. So yeah, 2 losses to Warmongers between over the weekend, which is fine. Levia again showing that matchup is like pretty tough, especially with like Carrying Husk. I think they also drew like Blood Rush super early, so again, Levia like surprisingly could be a challenging matchup just because of Husk, and also just if they like draw a lot better than you do. And then yeah, other than this weekend, so Slippy and Mario both felt pretty good. Florian was very close. I think this game went to like 1 health against my Florian opponent, and I ended up blocking with Trench to go off 0 AB, which is really funny. So I basically like stayed at 4, and like I was at 5, my opponent had 4 rune chants on board, and I basically like went to 1 off the 4 rune chants, and just like got rid of my trench and blocked 1 with it, so I'd stay like healthy enough, which was pretty cool. So that match was pretty fun, and yeah, lots of good matchups this weekend. And then I also got top 8 in this one, so we did a Slippy rematch, which this matchup was also really close. I think this went to 1 health on I think either side, which is really cool. So lots of really tight matchups this weekend, and then finally lost to a Syndra on the last round. And one thing I actually like noticed about the Syndra matchup is one thing they can do if you like send like a red fin on turn 0, which I like didn't know before. I think I was put on the play first, so I was going first turn 0. And one thing that Syndra can actually do is like activate their hero power to like pitch their entire hand, so they deny you the gold off red fin harpoon, which is really interesting. That was actually like the first time I think I've seen a Syndra do that, which means that like if you have the option to send red fin on turn 0, like maybe instead like prioritize arsenaling something else, or like arsenaling the red fin and like playing something else, which is cool. But yeah, I think that was one important thing I missed about the Syndra, the matchup, and like kind of got punished for that, and then I just like drew really badly. I think my 3 oaks all were in like the bottom like 20 cards of the deck, which feels really bad. And then I think I didn't see any like target traps that game either. So Syndra loss was like a little bit unfortunate RNG. But yeah, overall I'm still like pretty happy with like my ProQuest performance so far. So like top 8 3 different events, which is really cool. And I think like overall I'm like pretty happy with just like my performance in general. Like I think a lot of my games were either like I punted somewhere, which means that like the deck is like pretty good, or I just lost to a tech card, which is like also fine. So yeah, I think it's like pretty cool. So thoughts on sneaking overcrowded for these tasks? I've actually thought about that. Like I don't think that's completely unreasonable. Maybe like an interesting tech choice if you don't have like Eye or like Authority or like some of the Fables or whatever. I don't think that's bad though. I thought about like the overcrowded as like potential tech piece. But I think that is like interesting. So anyways, this is basically my Marlyn ProQuest list from this weekend. So the first, I think, ProQuest this weekend, I was running Eye. The second one, I wasn't. So this is like closer to, I think, what I was running when I didn't have Eye. So I basically just moved Authority main deck, which felt fine. And yeah, I think overall this deck still feels really, really solid, even if you don't have like Eye Ophidia. Like I feel like Eye is like maybe one of the most overrated cards in this deck. Riches, I think you definitely miss. But I actually want to try to collect some data on that today. So yeah, I'm gonna link this deck list in case anyone wants it. Again, I think it's pretty similar to the previous deck list I've kind of showed on stream, but I'll go ahead and post it in the chat as well. Let me find the chat.
I'll pin it.
Yeah, all right. Tegan's gonna be on that and pin it. But anyways, let's go and actually talk about, I guess, the price of Marlyn in general. So let me open the other list. Okay. All right, so I'm calling this the budget-ish list. So this is a $700 Marlyn list, which again, I think is like prohibitively expensive for some people. But unfortunately, like I don't actually know what the average price of a fab deck is. I don't know if anyone's collected data on that. If someone has like that number, feel free to post in chat. I think this list is still like really expensive. And I think part of the reason why is because Gravy's doing super well right now. Like if you look at pricing of this list, we're going to talk about this like a bit. So Tunic I think is most expensive card, and then like so these generics are basically like the two most expensive cards, and then like Codex of Frailty, which did just see a reprint, so might go down a little bit further, but still pretty pricey at like $25 a card. We also got the pre-meds, which are $21 a card. I think this card just like hasn't seen a reprint in a while, which is also why it's expensive. And then we got like some of the like the good pirate cards like Hook, Loan Shark, Golden Tip, which was I think this one's not that bad. It's like $7, but this card was like also short printed, which I think was like why this is a little bit more expensive. But the rest of the deck's like really not that bad. I think like once you get here, like Sea Lace is only $13, which is really good. So I think like I'm gonna call this a budget-ish list, because I don't think it's like a full-on budget list, because we're still running like Tunic, we're still running like Dominion. But I wanted to basically capture, like the point of me doing this is I wanted to try to have like a measurement for how much the fables like actually impact your win rate. So if I actually go to the past list, let me pull that up again. So if we go to the past list and we look at win rate, so this is just like my practice list. So I think this is this one. So if I look at the practice list, I think for my results, I think I'm at 76% win rate, going first or second just on Talstar. Again, your actual win rate in real life may vary. Like Talstar players, you know, maybe not as good as like your local players or whatever. So I generally like try to knock like 10 to 15 points off this. So maybe it's like a 50-60% win rate in real life, something like that. But I wanted to take this baseline list, that the list that either has I or doesn't have I. I think I actually had I in this list at one point. So this is basically like a list, like my main practice list. I wanted to compare this win rate to basically a list without any fables. So that's Riches, I have Ophidia, and Ataya. So I actually wanted to try to practice that other list today, and I wanted to try to like collect some data for later this week. So we're gonna play the budget-ish list. And the main difference between here is like we're cutting Ataya, which is rough. It definitely helps into like Earth matchups. We're cutting Riches, which is bad, like really helpful into like Fatigue matchups. If you like go super late, Riches does help generate a lot of gold. And then I think we're also cutting I, and I is just like a staple, very good generic piece that lets you like fix your draws and stuff. So you're losing definitely a lot of power of the deck. But I want to see like how much, like if we can actually tie that to a number, like how much percentage are you actually losing from not having those cards. And I wanted to keep the rest of the deck like mainly the same. So we're still running like Codex, we're still running Crown of Dominion, we're still running Tunic. And we're just going to try to see how the deck performs without the fables, because I think the fables add on basically another $1,400 to the deck, which is ridiculous. Like it shouldn't be that way in the first place. Which is like a small gripe I guess I have with the game, and like most people have with the game right now. Is like how ubiquitous fables are and stuff like that. So I wanted to actually like collect data on this list. We're gonna try this list out today, and I'm trying to get like 50 games over the course of the week just to see like if we can draw meaningful conclusions from that. Again, small sample size and everything, but I think 50 games should maybe give us roughly like an estimate of like how much power we're losing. So yeah, and in order to like make up for like Ataya and Riches and stuff, I'm basically running Release the Tension, which is basically just another buff. Also just helpful into like heavy Diriac decks. Not the same as Ataya, like not, I don't think is as good as Ataya, which is why we don't run it. But again, like I think this feels like a similar niche where like it's anti-Diriac tech that you can also run in case you like don't have Ataya or whatever. Yeah, so we're gonna play the deck this week. We're gonna try to sideboard it. And yeah, let's go ahead and just keep getting some games. So let me know if anyone has any like questions, I guess, on like Proquest or stuff like that. Again, there was another list that actually won this weekend, which was the Diego Souza list. I think he's from Brazil. That list is really cool, but I want to let him make a deck tech on that. So yeah, we're gonna wait on that. Okay, playing against an Ira. Not played against Ira in a while. Kind of want to go second, but I don't know what's correct actually. I think this is just, I think it's just a Kraken Shark matchup. We could also run the Tar Pits if we wanted to, but I don't think it's super necessary. I feel like Release also wouldn't be that bad. This definitely is a matchup where I think I would want like Riches and Ataya. It's actually great. Cut the gold tips and maybe bring the Tar Pits and then also the Releases as well. Let's try something like this. Not sure how correct this is. We could also fat deck like a little bit. Run like 62. And yeah. Run the Tar Pits and see how it goes. I'm assuming this is maybe more like an aggro IRA, at least based on their equipment. Yeah, I want to try to collect some data this week and just see how much the Fables actually influence the win rate. Hey, Aurora, or sorry, I'm Aurora. Hey, Alexis, how's it going? Yeah, I think she is like doing quite well, or at least I'm not doing too bad with her. I think I'm not gonna block the Kadashis here. Um, but yeah, I think like she's kind of a real deck, at least to me. I think you do need like a decent amount of practice to like play the deck, but I feel like that's most decks in Fab, right? Go ahead and block the pre-med here. That's fine. Yeah, but I don't know. I've been still having a lot of fun with this deck. All right, I think I'm gonna just try to hold on to the Redfin here. If they have like some pack react, I don't think I really mind too much. They have like Razor Reflex here. I don't think there's like an efficient way for them to play it. I think I want to hold on to this Redfin. Could also cycle to Quiver, but I think that's like a little risky. Yes, I think we'll just pass here. All right, we got a decent big game trophy shot hand. Yeah, let's maybe go for it. Draw another Sunken Treasure. We could actually just guarantee the gold baited hook if we wanted to. Oh, this hero scares me. Single-handedly, the reason I'm no longer playing Acelia's PQ. Add 5 locals, bring it so we can have to drop the video. Yeah, that's so funny. Alright, I think we're actually discarding the take game here so we can like guaranteed get the C4 salvage value. Because we can turn over our own card. I think going off an Arsenal against Ira is like also fine. Wait, did we like pass through? Wait, what happened there? Did we pass through the C4 salvage ability? Okay, that was weird. Maybe I like clicked through the UI too fast. Alright, coming in for 10. Yeah, I do think she does feel like pretty aggro in the sense that you're like not able to block super well. I guess there's like I don't know, aggro and control are like just very abstract concepts to me in Fab. It's like what is a control deck? What is an aggro deck? I'm actually kind of glad that they're just like double directing this because like this is kind of nothing. Kind of interesting that they're not gonna full block it though unless they have some other card. All right, we're gonna get 3 gold on hit, which is a pretty good start. But yeah, I feel like there are a lot of like blurry lines between like what is an aggro deck and what is a control deck in Fab. I don't know what I classify. She's like mid range, I guess. I don't know. She's like this weird. I like to think of decks more as like resource decks, non-resource decks more than anything. I feel like she's like more of like a resource deck than anything.
Carrots?
I'm probably good for now.
Okay.
You want to save them for later?
You want some for later?
Yeah,
They go.
that's fine.
They do some.
All right, I think here we're actually just gonna block the drill shot, and then so we don't really have like a great codex target yet. So one thing we could do is like codex with Goldfin, and then 3-oak off the tar pit, and just like guarantee the red fin. We could also just YOLO and pitch the codex though. Interesting. Yeah, I don't really know what Marlynn is. She's like a disruption deck that's also, I guess, a bit more aggressively slanted. Like you can't block as well. I guess maybe she's like an aggro control deck or something, like an aggro disruptive deck. So can Marlynn here codex? I guess the question is like, do we want to guarantee ourselves the Renfin? And we're also like, the only problem with doing codex here is we just get them back a cockroach feels pretty bad. Part of me almost wants to just like YOLO 3-oak and just hope to draw into any other arrow instead of like playing out the codex, but that's probably wrong. Let's go ahead and do the codex anyways. It's probably fine. We give them back a command and conquer, which doesn't feel great. I think it's still fine though. Played final round on my Proquest. Winning in as Acelia. My friend had Marlynn when turn 0. He had no harpoons in his opener. Suffice to say, I started the game with at 24 life total. That's so funny. No harpoons in his opener. So yeah, you start at 24. So Acilio starts at 36. So there's like a 15 damage harpoon or something. That's crazy. Oh, so I think I know what happened. What did they do? Like they big game trophy shot 3-oaked or something, and you got to 24. That's pretty rough. Yeah, I feel like this hero definitely does have draws like that. Right, so unfortunately we did actually kind of get punished for codexing here, but it's not the end of the world. You still just like Arsenal Kraken. Yeah, Marlyn's definitely not a deck that can like really play off small hands. I think that's a pretty big issue she has. Yeah, definitely not the kind of deck you want to play if you can't handle like not blocking and then like keeping a bunch of cards in hand. All right, playing against like a very D-React heavy Ira here. Definitely a matchup where I think a Taya would help a lot. So opponent has a Command and Conquer. So I guess let's open ourselves up. Let's keep the Kraken Arsenal. You can actually just let them eat it here if they really want to. Alright, so they're gonna go for Command and Conquer for 6. Could end up giving up like the port side here. We do have Tunic coming up as well. We could also just like take the damage. I think take the damage is like pretty reasonable. The only problem is we keep giving them back. If we Codex again, we're in the same problem of giving them back a CNC, which feels pretty bad. Oh, they're gonna have pouncing pots here. Interesting. Not sure I fully maybe they want to cut. Well, no. Huh. Maybe I'm not seeing the line they're seeing here. I don't think this represents mass trigger at all, right? Because they didn't hit on the first Kadachi. Yeah, I'm not fully understanding the play there. This is still fine though. We can block with our boots here and then just like not codex, which I think is like fine. Like block here and then just send a prevent. Let's try this. See how it goes. I don't really want to just like keep giving them back like CNC. It's like kind of annoying. Eusilio wait an instant only to draw same card. Yeah, Battering Bolt can be pretty rough. Yeah. Definitely Marlyn's one of those heroes you can just like send 15 damage, your opponent can't deal with it, and then like you take 50 damage. It's rough. Yeah, Marlyn is definitely like one of those heroes like Azalea, right? Where like Azalea could hit you with like a red and ledger like 3 times in a row. I feel like Marlyn has like a similar effect where like she can just like absolutely like just like completely prevent you from playing the game for certain heroes. Like I think Azalea is one of those heroes where like sometimes he can like play around like some of the harpoons that Marlyn's sending, but like other times it's just like I cannot block with my hand. I'll take a battering bolt for 1,000,000 damage. I think our opponent might not be connecting here. All right, I'm gonna mark this as not a win in the budget deck. I don't want to pad the win rate too much, so hold on. Let me modify the results real quick. This is how I doctor all my results, but we'll exclude that game. But yeah, I want to try to collect some accurate data here, so we'll go ahead and maybe just grab another game here real quick. Let's do just competitive queue. All right, playing against KO. This matchup is also really rough, especially without a tie and riches, which I think help a lot. We'll bring in the releases, and we'll bring in the drops, and hope that's enough. So let's maybe cut the laces here. And then I think we can also cut the gold to tips. Maybe run it something like this. I feel like the releases and the drop the anchors are definitely overperformers in this matchup. Could also cut like 1 loan shark, but I think without like normally a lot of what I've done over the weekend is like cut 1 loan shark, add 1 riches. Just because like loan shark often hard. But I think if you're not running riches, like maybe just double loan shark is correct. Figure around like this. See how it goes. Right, double 3-oak in the opener. It's kind of bad. Oh, you love the content. You're the main reason I learned Zen. Zen is so much fun. I still love Zen a lot. I think there's not really fully a deck that's like quite like him. Let's go ahead and just block with one of the three oaks. I think we're planning on just like blocking the loan shark, keeping the other one if they send like claw or something here. And swing big is like a little bit annoying. So I think three oak. All right, so unfortunately we had both our three oaks in the opening hand. So the question here is three oak, is keeping a three oak in hand worth more than blocking 2 damage to three oak? That's the question. It's close actually. I think what happens if we just try keeping the three oak here? I think it might be correct to just block, just so we're not taking like too much damage. But like keeping a three oak in hand might actually be worth 2 health. I'm gonna keep it and see if I get punished for that. Oh, you're the Ira? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry. The show must go on, as they say. Definitely would have wanted to play that out. Uh, oh yeah, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, sorry. It's sometimes hard to see if like people like had a connection issue or if they you know, like they like were stalling or whatever. But yeah. So Kraken coming in. We're playing against KO. I'm not gonna hook this just because like KO can run like a million deer reacts, right? Yeah, Talishar is really weird. Sometimes you have to like refresh super aggressively, and even then, it like sometimes you'll just like drop the connection, right? But yeah, apologize for that. Didn't really mean anything by it. More so just like was trying to collect just like games for the deck. Yeah, but thank you all for joining and viewing. I appreciate it. We got what, like 35 viewers, which is awesome. Just having some fun playing some budget Marlyn. Oh, okay. All right. We got the pre-med, we got the Kraken. We got the guy they block with the boost. So maybe they don't have another non-attack in hand. We'll take a look. Okay, so all attacks. Generally, I think King Shark is a little bit better in this matchup. So we do have to be careful about the Mocking Blow, but keep inventory on that. Right, interesting hand. Not gonna call this hand good, because I don't think it is. All right, so the E-Strike, they're going for buff here. Don't have a 0-cost arrow yet. So what we could end up doing here is just like sending a Goldfin, which I don't think is terrible. We just like triple buff, send Goldfin, Arsenal the Codex for next turn. Kind of don't mind that. I don't think there's really a better play, unless I'm missing something. But yeah, we'll just turn over Overland Shark, generate some gold here. Oh, you wasn't sure if it was me or someone from my Patreon. That makes sense, yeah. Yeah, normally I go by Aurora. I also just got the I finally paid my Talishar dues and subscribed to their Patreon, which I feel like I should have done a long time ago, but I just kind of like got busy with stuff. I feel like probably overdue for me to support them, given that like a lot of my content is kind of owed in part to the Talishar team. But if you ever see my name, it's like I think I like mistyped my name too, so it's like ORA at the end, but like the 2 O's or like the O and the R are capitalized, but the A isn't. But if you ever run into me in Talishar, that's normally my username. I don't currently have a burner account, or at least I haven't had the need to make a burner account. But yeah, 99% of the time, I think I'm playing on this account. All right, pretty big Goldfin here. So we know the release attention is doing nothing here because they have a Mocking Blow in Arsenal. Or they have an Overcrowd in Arsenal, right? So yeah, the release attention is actually doing like kind of nothing against them. Which is fine. Doesn't have to do everything every game, but they might only have like a 2-block in Arsenal, which is also kind of acceptable. All right, outside interference. What are we grabbing here? Right, we're grabbing an offensive behavior. Interesting. They want that as a bluer. They want that just to like have it. I wonder if they lead. I don't actually know how like KO new RKO decks are built, but do they actually have like a random blue that you can just like grab from your arsenal in case you need it? Or like, or from your inventory if you need it. That could be interesting. So it seems like they're maybe blocking with the overcrowd here as well. But yeah, I don't know enough about KO deck building to know if that's like a real thing where they like discard this, grab a blue, or if they're just grabbing that for some other reason. I think this card is like really cool though. Outside interference, just a blue brute 6 that you can like tutor, get like demonic tutor, which is also kind of funny. All right, we drop the anchor, which is also a really big deal into RKO. This hand's nice. Ooh, this hand's really nice. Okay. Most people are on old switcheroo in the board. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I don't know enough about KO deck building to really know like what the kind of spice is. I think here we're actually just blocking with the King Shark just so we get it in graveyard, and then we just do our Codex thing. I don't think there's really a need to get fancy with it. But we're doing pretty well for not having any Fables. At least in this matchup, I think is one of the matchups where the Fables do probably add a fair bit to the deck. But I feel like at least at this point in the game, we haven't really needed them, which is nice. Let's go ahead and Codex. Grab our Shark because I think it's a little bit more relevant in this matchup. Oh, we're doing some pretty good. We're doing some good math here, at least. The ideal Marlynn game is sending 13 damage every turn and hoping your opponent dies, right? Ideally, you want to actually be like sending more than 13 damage. Like you want to be sending like 16 or 14, like 17, whatever the increments are. But not too bad here, I think. Most people are. What is Old Switcheroo? Do I not know that card? Hold on. Old Switcheroo. Oh no, what is this? This card, next time you clash with target hero this turn, instead you reveal the top card of their deck and they reveal the top card of your deck. You win the clash, they discard a card. Oh, interesting. I feel like I've never read this card. That's very funny though. Alright, it's coming at us with the overcrowded. I think they just blocked with an overcrowded, and they maybe blocked with something else, so they had the overcrowded still. Oh, so maybe we shouldn't have gone for the King Shark. It's still fun though. Still just sending good damage. I did forget about the arsenal though. Right, port side's a fine arsenal. Three on scabs, love to see it. Not doing too bad here. All right, we're gonna flex strength, so this is the one that gets buffed. So base power, so it gets +4, +3. So this is coming in for 9. We go to 20. Then we just have like a pretty decent turn next turn where we can just make a bunch of gold. We actually block like a little bit if we wanted to here, because we do have the port side, but it's a little risky. I think I want to hold on to the port side actually, or hold on to the C4 salvage. Let's hold on to C4 salvage for now. So I think we're just gonna take this. There's maybe an argument to like giving up the gold baited hook, but we don't need to do that just yet. Right, so we're pulling Tunic, pitching a red here. Oh, interesting. So that's not super efficient for them. So don't mind this. So we go to 20. We're going to be a lower life total in the KO, which is not ideal, but still fine. Should be sending some good damage this turn at least. Let's go ahead and port side. Discard our Goldfin. Load the Bluefin Harpoon. I guess actually we don't want to load it yet. We want to Codex first and then make them think. So now we load this face down just to deny as much information as possible. But Old Switcher in the board is really interesting. So who do you like pour this into? Next time you clash target hero this turn, like I feel like this would be good against like Guardians or heroes that where you're gonna like lose the clash. It's kind of interesting. Let's see for salvage. So we're refreshing our gold here. Let's grab. Part of me almost wants to just like turn over a random card in their graveyard, like the overcrowded, which is like kind of annoying. But I think it's still just better to like get gold. Random Ponder here is nice though. Oh, is that literally what it is for? Is it just because you need a random blue in the board? Oh, okay, I see. I see what you're saying. That's really interesting. Oh, interesting. Okay. All right, we got a Cruel Ambition. Oh, I've not seen a ton of Cruel Ambition in KO. That's interesting. All right, 3 Oak and Arsenal's great. All right, last 3 Oak here. All right, no follow up to the mites, so which is good for us, I think. So I think here we're just gonna get risky and dump hand. So let's take aim, Blood Rot, or even on life totals, which is nice against KO. Salvage. Let's turn over our Codex, I think. I think we're gonna pull Tunic here just so we're guaranteed to have an arrow in hand, because otherwise we aren't. Alright, we find the red fin though, which is nice. Not too bad here. Still only coming in for 11 here. I think we're missing some of our bigger harpoons. Like, we've only seen 2 out of 6. And we're like a decent ways through the deck. We've not made a gold this turn, so we're not going to hook. Yeah, I think we're just coming in for 11. I think port side is like the most valuable arsenal here in case we like brick off the top. I think the rest of our hand's not super compelling to hold on to. Alright, take it on the chin, so they're going to get an agility for next turn. Not too bad. Alright, we have a batter beaten and broken, and then we have a goon beatdown. Do we know what their arsenal is? I think we do. At least as far as I know. So this is just the Intimidate one. When this hits a hero, destroy an Intimidate card they own if you have control 3 or more auras. Are they going to control 3 or more auras, though? They have the Blood Rod, I guess, but these are all going to break. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter here, right? Let's maybe go to Ponder. Right, big game trophy shot's good. Alright, excellent hand. Alright, just coming in with Command and Conquer. So this is a good... Oh, well, the blocking is a little bit awkward because it's coming in for 10 now. So one thing I'm seeing is we can potentially lose the Kraken if we want to. We like lose the Kraken... Or no, sorry, the King Shark. Or, sorry, we can lose the big game trophy shot here. Hold on to the King Shark. Crack a gold, reload Codex next turn. Or like save the Codex for Arsenal. I don't think it's bad. We could also just like block with the King Shark. Let the big game trophy shot go. Codex anyways. I feel like I'd maybe rather save the Codex for a later turn though. I don't know. It's interesting. I'm gonna say no blocks here. I'm just gonna take the 10. I kind of want to just like load this King Shark and then guarantee that we have a King Shark next turn with the Codex. Alright, just coming in with the Claw. This is also, I guess, an opportunity where we can get the King Shark, but then we're giving them back. So I don't want to like Codex next turn is the issue. Because they have like no arsenal, so that they can get back like Overcrowded, they can get back CNC if they want to. I think next turn is like a really bad turn to Codex. I think I'd rather just like crack some gold and see what we find. As opposed to like giving them value. Another King Shark is not helpful, but I guess in this case maybe we're just pitching the Codex now. You pitch the Codex, you send the King Shark, arsenal the other King Shark. We're still holding on to a bit of our armor at least. I just like want to avoid kind of doing the similar thing we were doing against Ira, where we're just like giving them back CNC or giving them back Overcrowded, which feels like really low value for Codex. Like, ideally, you want a Codex, I think, when they're on an arsenal or they're on just like a crappy arsenal. Looks like we're potentially getting Wolf Ridge here. At least our opponent's thinking about it. Alright, so we get Steel Victory, Mocking Blow. Steel Victory can be really annoying, by the way. I don't know if you've ever played against this card as Marlyn, but like sometimes they just like steal your Ponder token, which is pretty rough. Yeah, this matchup is not very favored for Marlyn, I would say. Outside interference getting this time. Potentially another Mocking Blow, or are we getting a big bully? So coming in for 8. Our hand is like amazing though. So we just kind of need to stay alive here, which makes me think I'm just like giving up Hook, holding on to Tunic, picking 5 here. Unless there's something I'm missing, which I don't think there is. But yeah, this is a pretty favorable matchup for RKO, I think. In general, I think they just run too many like functional D-reacts or just like block cards, which I think makes it a bit more difficult. Let's go ahead and trophy shot here. All right, Elephant is nice. Could crack 2 gold here if we wanted to and just like try to push. I think it's reasonable at this point in the game. And maybe I'm just looking for like just a little extra damage or an arsenal. I think here Bluefin's not like super amazing. Maybe this is wrong, but arsenaling a Bluefin's not the worst thing in the world. Yeah, I feel like the issue. Oh, wait, did they just die? Somehow. So apparently RKO couldn't deal with 17, which is fair. But yeah, I think like I don't even know if this is like a numbers matchup. It feels like we need some of our disruption to land. If it doesn't land, then we're in trouble. If it does land, we're not in trouble. I feel like this is one of those matchups where maybe we just like lined up a King Shark on a hand where they just like could not deal with it. So they had basically all actions in hand, overpower, did its thing. So that's pretty good at least. Like you can still beat RKO without the Fables, which is nice. Yeah, just a casual little average Marlyn hand. I don't even know. Goon Beatdown. If you control 3 or more auras, when this hits a hero, the crown boost. This card doesn't seem very good. I don't know. Our RKO fans in chat. I don't know. This card. I don't know. That doesn't seem actually like that good. I feel like the most impressive KO list I've seen have just been running like Rainbow Mocking Blow, which is like I don't know. Yeah, the aura plan is pretty bad. I think. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe not the most optimal RKO list there. Yeah, the 15 D-Rex build seems like very, very rough for Marlyn. Playing against a Limpy. Alright, we're not going to pad the win rate. Alright, Phi is the real matchup. Let's play Phi. So this is a battering Shark matchup. I've argued that this is maybe a Kraken matchup, but we'll try Shark this game. We'll see after the game how it ends up going. So they're going to go first, which is interesting. I think normally it's correct for Marlyn to want to go second in this matchup, but maybe they don't mind. We could run release, but that's not entirely necessary. I think we're just gonna run it as is. Yeah, that's the list that I've seen that's been doing like a lot better. It's just like 9 Mocking Blow and then like 15 D-Reacts, and like what do I do? I can't hit a like I can never hit you as Marlyn as RKO, right? Like you basically just run every D-React of the game and you kind of win. Which is like a little bit reductive, but like kind of how the matchup goes, it feels like. All right, opponents on balance. Pitching a Sink Below. I kind of want to just like overblock a bit, especially since our hand's like nothing crazy. So I think I want to like block like 5 and 5 ideally. Okay, if they just want to pass, that's also fine with me. I think I will try to fish for a better arrow than the Elephant here. All right, Golden Tip is also fine. Alright, so this hand is not amazing, but not the worst. I kind of like just sending a Goldfin at them for 11, but that doesn't mean we go off gold, but we do get Redfin Arsenal, which is pretty good. Is there a better play? At least not that I'm seeing. I feel like just sending 11 is fine here, and then arsenaling the Redfin for next turn. It's generally bad to go off gold against Fang, but like if we have an arsenal that's pretty decent, maybe I feel less bad about it. I'd say this is not like an amazing hand. If we could like turn the arrow face up somehow with like Golden Tip, that'd be really nice. But I think we're just sending 11 here. Not a crazy impressive turn or anything, but 11 damage is 11 damage. Yeah, it definitely seems like the aura stuff is like not what you want to be doing. It seems like it's just so inconsistent with KO. Like you just want to play every direct in the game, stay at a higher life total than your opponent, and then just like play Mocking Blow every turn, and then just deal like 11 damage, and then they die, right? It's interesting though. I don't know. I have not played enough RKO to really say. I'm just kind of trusting what I think other people have said. Alright, get some good threats out of them though. So they block with a March of Fealty, March of Loyalty, and the Saber Bloodshed. I feel like I'm kind of happy with that. This next hand's pretty good. We can Catch of the Day on a Redfin and send 15 with this hand. Yeah, I think I'll let them deal some damage here. Kind of default my main for now, but God, is he... Yeah, like... Yeah. That's the one thing that's like kept me not super interested in a lot of heroes from the set, is I feel like they devolve into kind of just react slop, which is like a bit reductive, but like it feels like a lot of the better decks are just like decks that can run D-reacts pretty well. I feel like I don't like that kind of style of deck in general. I think I'm gonna go off an Arsenal here. Let's get a little bit risky. So we're gonna be sending in 13. Our opponent could block, but then we're keeping them off fealty, which I think is fine. There's a risk here where if we don't have an Arsenal, we're not able to fully convert our hand, but I think applying the pressure against Fang is like generally quite good. But yeah, I don't know. I still feel like a little bit weird about a lot of the generics in the game right now, and just like how ubiquitous they are across like different decks. It definitely feels like every mid-range deck to some extent is just like some kind of react pile. Except Marlynn. Like I think that's like what keeps me interested in Marlynn, is that she's not really a react pile. Also, this is a the funniness of this draw is now dawning on me. Triple take game. We have no take games left in the deck. We have one tip in the deck and then one catch of the day, which is very funny. Oh, interesting draw, but that's Marlynn for you. Yeah, it feels like I don't know if y'all have seen the Zen documentary, but there's a line that I think Ellie is talking about when it comes to like heavy hitters, is like it's like wet noodle fab, and I think that's like a really good. It really captures how I feel about a lot of the heroes they introduced in like Super Slam. Is it just feels like it's wet noodle fab, because like you're just hitting each other with wet noodles and you're not really doing a ton of damage. Looks like this Redfin might be connecting here, which is exciting. All right, it's a yellow and a blue, so not that exciting, I guess. The funny thing is they don't have a Draconic in hand, though, so this is maybe not the end of the world. We don't have a way to load next turn. I'm maybe just looking to take off the turn. This hand is interesting. We actually generate a gold here and then use our Tunic to pitch instead of using the big game trophy shot, which kind of calls to me a bit. Our opponent has a Scar Tissue, yellow in hand, and then a blue Twist and Turn. Is that what it was? Yeah, so it's blue Twist and Turn, yellow Scar Tissue. So I think we actually do want to block here. A Scar Tissue... This only pumps 2. I think this makes sense, right? I'm not missing something here. Let's turn over our gold to tip. This will block the Scar Tissue, assuming that we have no other information. If they want to like just spend a fealty to make a fealty, though, like I think that's fine with me. There's really just no good heroes right now that get value out of things other than numbers. Yeah, it's true. It's kind of true. I don't know. I like Marlynn because she doesn't feel like a numbers deck to me. Like she has like she has her like good value plays or whatever, but a lot of like the fun in this deck is like what cracking gold can do to like kind of cheat your numbers. I don't know. That's what appeals to me about this deck. It feels like it's much more of a resource management deck than just like some kind of like mid-range pile that like runs over a bunch of D-reacts, or it's like it feels like the path to victory is not necessarily linear, which I like. I think that's the part that I think like speaks to me most about this deck. This Codex play is like kind of weak because we only have the red pin, but I think it's still worth doing against Fang. Keeps the tempo up, which is good, and if we can just like make it a little harder for them to keep the fealty around, I think I'm okay with that. But yeah, I think that it's like a genuine like game design problem that Fab sometimes like just ends up running into. Is like a lot of what I'll say about the roster right now is that I think there's a lot of redundancy between what some heroes are trying to do and like what other heroes are also doing. Like, I guess like the comparison is like Ira and Tough Nut, right? Or I don't know if those two are like similar, but like me, like Ira and like Archeo, right? Where they're both just like functionally numbers decks that just run a bunch of Diriax. I don't know. I think it's like, ooh, this overcrowd's gonna get a lot of value. Yeah, that's pretty good. Or Marlyn also sometimes suffers from the overcrowded blowout, but that's okay. It's not that bad for us. Like we weren't like super heavily invested in that red pin harpoon. Definitely hate to see it. But yeah, back to what I was saying is like it feels like there is like a lot of redundancy between some of the more mid-range heroes right now. It just feels like they all do very, very similar things, which is not super exciting from like at least like a game development perspective. Maybe that's just like growing pains though. Like it does feel like maybe maybe like the heroes like they'll grow into their own with like more time and more expansion slots. It's just like right now it feels like there's like a lot of redundancy, right? Uh, I was excited to see them do brutes that don't discard, and then they basically became heroes of that class ability. Yeah, yeah, that's kind of true. Yeah, I feel like the Guardian cards are also like, I don't know. There's not really been like a new staple Guardian card in a while, right? But yeah, I think it's maybe just growing pains with Fab. Like sometimes sometimes there's just like a lot of redundancy between the classes, I guess. Brave Forge and then Fire Vein one more time. Opponent's got a lot of vigor, but not a lot of fealty here. I guess they get to go back up to one fealty. Yeah, the Jarl thing. Don't get me started about the Jarl thing. The Jarl thing is rough. It's I don't know. Maybe just bad marketing on the behalf of like Mastery Pack Guardian. Like I think a lot of people looked at Mastery Pack Guardian, thought it was gonna do one thing, and it didn't do that thing. Which is fine. Subverting expectations is okay, but does definitely feel like it's weird in general. I'm actually thinking, so I'm definitely making a gold pin here, but I'm actually thinking about what this hand wants to do. I don't think I'm actually supposed to like distribute the damage here between the pre-med, because I want to like have the opportunity for pre-med to hit twice. So I think what I'm actually planning on doing here is I'm discarding Golden Tip, hoping to find like another resource off the top, so we can just like we just need to find either a yellow or a blue, and then we can actually send in the Golden Harpoon. But if we don't find a blue, then we find like a red, and we can buff the Golden anyway. So I think we're doing something a little wonky here. So I think we're gonna pre-med on the Sleep Dart, give it go again, and then use Tipple to load. You're gonna have to bear with me. This is gonna get a little weird, I think. Or no, we need to draw blue off the top if we do this, right? Because we need to discard the tip. We pay 1. I basically want the opportunity to get 2 pre-meds here if I can help it. The funny thing is we're also activating Hook here, which is kind of hilarious. Because I think our opponent is maybe thinking like the Gold Bait Hook is not on Sleep Start, so why do they do that? Okay, so we got the pre-med. Interesting. I think we're still discarding the Golden Tip. Yeah, y'all getting no playable in Super Slam is also like quite rough. I agree. I think like the best card for Jarl, at least in my like initial impression, has been Codex Bloodrot is awkward. I feel like the best card for Jarl in my initial impression has been the what do you call it? The Hungry for More. I feel like that card is like actually like kind of okay in like a more fatigue oriented Jarl, but like maybe it still like doesn't make the cut. Not sure. So this Codex is awkward, but that's fine. I think I was trying to get maybe a little bit too cute this turn, so we still ended up sending how much damage? We did 1 plus 2 plus 6 plus another 2. 1 plus 6 plus 2 plus 2. I'm mathing that, so it's 11 damage. That's fine. Maybe not. I think if we get a blue there, we get like the extra +4, which is nice. I think I still stand by the play. I think that was still reasonable. Right, battering bolt is good. Right, good hand. Right, hoping to just let our opponent do whatever this turn and then try to disrupt the next turn and then chain the codex the turn after. The opponent is going to get as many fealty as they want here. Notably, they are turned off though. So if they mark me at all this turn, they're not going to be able to turn that into fealty, which is kind of interesting. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people had a idea of what Mastery Pack Guardian and Super Slam were going to do for Guardian, and then it turned out that that was just like not the case, which is rough. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. It feels like just like maybe like a marketing miss more than anything. But I think a lot of people like had the impression that like Yarrow was gonna get new cards, like Bravo was gonna get new cards. It just like didn't end up happening, which is fine. Like they want to print like new stuff, and that's also fine. But I think a lot of people have just been itching for like support for the classes they liked. It feels like definitely some of the more neglected classes right now are like Guardian. I mean, Guardian like still feels kind of neglected, right? Other classes. Root felt like they got a decent little bit of chunk of support.
Wizard.
Wizard. I mean, Verdance is the only wizard they like at this point, right? So Verdance got her support. Battering Bolt might end up getting a decent bit of value. See what their last card in hand is. We're potentially keeping off fealty here. All right, March of Loyalty. Create a fealty token this turn. Let's go. Sure. All right, so Ponder. Ace is good for next turn. This hand kind of bad. Yeah, 4 expansion slots in a row is a lot for runes. I will acknowledge that. Definitely feels like a lot, especially from someone who plays decks that like kind of lose to runes. All right, so I think we're gonna get greedy with the big game trophy shot next turn and hope it doesn't bite us. But if it does, I guess it's not the end of the world. I guess they do get Gogan here if they want it. We're still saying no blocks though. I'm still sitting on a really big fridge, which is concerning. Yeah, we're gonna need a good turn here. I mean, we've done a good job keeping them off fealty. The only problem is like we're still just like dying even without the fealty, which is crazy. Let's go ahead and trophy shot. So we want to hold on to the loan shark in case we go here. Oh, another loan shark. Yikes. This is bad. We could just get sleep dart here, I guess, but it's not super exciting. Yeah, I feel like our blue misses have been rough. I think we missed like 4 damage on the first blue miss, and then like this blue miss is like -3 damage, which is really bad. You can also like discard a loan shark, got the battering bolt. Yeah, that's better. This loss might be on me. Maybe we got a little too greedy. Or maybe yeah, our things just like didn't line up super well. Go ahead and sleep dirt though. That's the Marlynn RNG for you, unfortunately. Like, I think we get a blue. Any of those 2 turns were like ahead by like 4 points, basically. Unfortunate. I think we've also just seen a lot of reds this game too. Like not our like good reds, like our like King Sharks or Battering Bolts. Like we've just seen like kind of our like mid cards more than anything. Okay though. Kind of fully expect to just eat the fridge here, and then we block with our mini fridge, and then maybe get an extra card out of them this turn, so they're not able to go super wide. All right, giving us the bridge. Right, there's slap. There's a sink. Okay, so fully covered. At least get the ponder here, which is nice. And they're maybe not going to be able to get to 3 fealty next turn. So if we can capitalize on this tempo, I think we're actually not in a terrible spot. All right, we have the drill shot in arsenal. All right, this is a good hand. Good hand. So we need to keep the sea lace here. We want to live. Do we die to anything here? So one thing I'm thinking about is if they pledge fealty and then hunts end, do we die? No, because that would only be 5 damage. I don't think we can die on this swing, so I'm not going to block. Okay, fealty maybe changes something. No. Okay, so scar tissue. Looking to mainly block with like tunic and hook on the next thing if I can help it. Or maybe just like maybe just the hook here. All right, so pledge fealty. So this is fine. So we block here. We go to 2, and then we just try to hit him with the 3 oak. Hope that's enough. Problem is they still balance up, which is bad. Not a great spot to be in. But we're doing our best here. And so they're now at 3 fealty. Rough. So sea lace. I'm hoping we can maybe leverage this turn. Like we've had some kind of like mid draws. I think this is also our first 3 oak, right? Oh my god, this is our first 3 oak. I guess our codexes have been kind of keeping us in the game, but not seeing a 3 oak against Fang until this turn is like pretty rough. Feel like it might be just a little bit late here, but I guess better late than never. All right, go ahead and lace. So they're gonna be able to draw an extra card here. It's unfortunate. So King Shark, Soul Pitcher Blues. I guess we might as well Gold Bait Hook because it's probably going to be last turn of the game anyways, right? All right, Baby Shark. Baby Shark. All right. Please save us. Please save us, Mr. Shark. We're gonna need like a miracle shark here in order for this to actually like do anything. We can get the hand information though, and they like crack balance. We may like play around and like kill them with blood rot. That's like maybe one option if they can only block 4 on this. Death by blood rot is a possibility. Yeah, the Verdance thing is wild to me because like she started being good around like what high seas, right? Like the end of high seas when like you figured out you can like kind of like out aggro Gravy sometimes. All right, these triggers are all fine. But it's kind of wild to me that they just like kept printing Verdance support, assuming that she was going to be bad.
She was terrible for a while.
Yeah, she was rough for a while, but like not that bad really. Okay, so what are we taking here? They have the glint. If they Oath of Loyalty, well, they can make the glint draconic, which is awkward, right? So I think we actually just take the Oath here. They're gonna draw a random card, which is also really annoying. I mean, I think we're still like dead here, but I think we should take the Oath, right? Because we're gonna need to block cards with pain anyway, so the glint is basically just like 3 damage. So they should crack balance here. Okay, they do crack balance. So they have 1 unknown card in hand. Then they have the for the Drake Eye and the glint in hand. So I think my plan here is I want to try to kill them with the blood rot. Why don't we kill them with blood rot? I think it involves something like, so they have the glint, they can always pay for the blood rot if they want to. Which means that if this card is not a blue, I think we're still just like blocking the King Shark here anyways. I don't really see a way around that. I mean, we could deny the glint here, which is maybe like relevant. So maybe we'll like Sea Lace and just hope they don't have an attack react they can play on the first chain link. Feels like kind of ambitious though. Block 2 here and see what happens. I feel like we need this to not be an attack react they can play on the first chain link. So, okay. Scar tissue. So I think we're dead. We're dead even if we block the King Clerk, right? Okay, so they drew into the scar tissue, that's fine. I think that makes sense. So we did at least deny the glint so they couldn't like re-roll into something else. Maybe we should have given the King Shark there anyways. I don't know. I don't really know if there's like a way out of that situation. Like if they drew what like actually we play around there? Like if they drew maybe some random like non-attack, that could have done it. Maybe a punt. Maybe they just have like too many reacts left in deck and we should have blocked more and just like gone into the glint. Yeah, that's an option. I think we were just like slightly behind that game. I think like let's take a look at our threats. So we had 2 3-oaks in our hand, which is funny. We drew only 2 of our big harpoons. So I think a little bit of bad RNG, but we're also like missing the fables, which is fine. I feel like a lot of the matchups we're kind of facing today are like the ones where we do actually end up missing the fables. But it is how it is. Alright, I don't really want to play against another RKO. Let's find like any other deck that's not a deer deck pile. I got so scared when you sent the catch of the day Redfin. Oh no. Was that a pun on my part? I think that was still maybe worth it. I don't know. Alright, playing against a Vincent. This matchup is borderline free, but I can definitely be proven wrong. Running Northern Rope over the trench. Oh, you were the Fang. Oh, okay. Do you want to enable chat? Hello. Oh, that makes sense. Hello. Stream sniper, yeah. Snipe in my hand. I am flushing bad. Yeah. Streaming right now. Let's go ahead and bring the Krakens and the Sharks. Loved yours too. E-L-H. Oh, you muted the stream. Okay, you're not a cheater. That's fine. I wasn't accusing you of being a cheater. That was just me joking. But yeah, we'll bring in an Northern Rope here.
Well, it's Ari, so.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Yeah, bring in our full Spellvoid one. Okay, what do we want to do here? We have a lot of tipping action.
You didn't say I love yours too. You said I love your too.
Oh, I love your too.
Which is even funnier.
Yep. That's our production quality for you. I guess we're just gonna make some gold here. We also really don't need to run trench in this matchup. It's just kind of funny. Or this is like budget trench. I feel like trench is like AB1 for the most part anyways. But if we can shape $40 off the deck, I think I'm fine with that. Let's go ahead and port side. We're discarding a gold tip, I think. We get to load here. Except the load is like kind of awkward. I think this codex is like kind of bad right now, so I almost don't want to arsenal it. Especially against a bin set. I think I'd rather just like gold the tip here. Make a bunch of gold on turn 1. Just get ourselves set up. Yeah, we have no way of verifying that you muted the stream. So could very well have been stream sniping. But yeah, Ari is great. Very, very funny. Alright, got the widespread, we got the Malefic, we got the big game trophy shot. That's looking good. But yeah, always love to see play against viewers. Alright, just playing out the mob. So they have a card they want to arsenal over mob, which is good info. Go ahead and trophy shot here. Ideally looking for like a big harpoon here, but if we don't have a big harpoon, we have the Redfin to fall back on. So not too bad. Just send a Redfin for 12 here. Is I think pretty good against Vincent. I don't know. This is one of those like cursed matchups for Vincent, which feels pretty rough. I think. Oh, they actually we have on the Redfin here. Okay, so they're still definitely in this, but I guess we did force them to block at the mob. I guess we'll just go ahead and pass back. Alright, still no big harpoons. Our opponent has a couple... Oh, they had another mob. Okay, we just seen all 3 mobs, which is maybe a little unfortunate. Alright, so we have 2 rune chants coming in. I kind of want to just like take a setup turn here. So let's go ahead and just pay for a bit. So let's go ahead and pay with like the sleep dart. Oh yeah, I was hoping to pair into you two or Ari. Although against Fang, like I think that matchup is like kind of rough. Or it's not like unplayably rough. I just need to like high roll super hard. Alright, coming in with the flail as well. But yeah, I was definitely looking forward to playing with you. Although I'm not that upset that I dodged like every single warrior this weekend. I don't think I played against a single. Or no, that's not true. I played against Kasai last Proquest. So I didn't dodge every single warrior, but I dodged like majority of them, which is nice. Always love to see that. I think warrior is like in general one of the rougher matchups for this deck. Wait, they made another rune chant here. Where did this rune chant come from? Wait, did they pay for Deathly Will? Or did they pay the life to reduce it? I might have missed that. Thought they weren't gonna get the rune chants here. Or maybe yeah, maybe they yeah, maybe they paid the life there. I missed that. That's on me. So we might be getting widespread here, which is still not the end of the world. Right, there's the Malefic. Machination. Seems pretty good. So we're definitely taking the damage off this widespread. Which is fine. Oh wait, this says overpower. We can actually block this if we really want to. Is maybe worth it? Yeah, let's try to block it. See what happens. So we have to pay with the two buffs, and we block with these 2. So we not pay there. We can block 6 here. Seems to check out for me. And I guess we can turn over their Deathly Will, not that I think it matters. I just want to kind of force them to keep tempo here. Alright, they have another widespread follow-up, so Revel and Blood pretty good. We'll lose the Arsenal here, which is not the end of the world. I kind of want to just take a bunch of off turns against Vidset. I feel like it's kind of like a similar strategy to Zen, where you just kind of want to like give up the tempo sometimes to like force them to do stuff. I took the champ before. Oh, that's what it was. Oh, you're totally right. That's the champ that I missed. Yeah, right, because the combo chain was not closed yet. Makes sense. Always getting tricked by Vincent.
You're running no room, bro.
Yeah, Arbor Trench, just because it's like I think a $40 shape.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha. I was like, damn.
Yeah. Be budgeting.
I was like, the tech crazy.
No crazy tech. I think I kind of still just want to keep blocking a bit, although like the widespread annihilation is like thing. Maybe I should stop blocking at some point, but maybe now it's not that point. Could play around Succumb here if we wanted to, which I think is like reasonable. So like IP1ing with this hand theoretically. Maybe we try to keep like this hand. Oh, they did have Succumb. Okay, play around it. So still gonna make some rune chants here, which is fine. Yeah, the thing I was missing apparently was the rune chant and the flail, making it so that the Deathly Will is trigger, which makes sense. Pretty cool. Right, let's go ahead and get the red fin here again. I don't think we're hooking this. I feel like my strat of giving up the tempo is not working necessarily super well this game. But we're still going to keep trying. Alright, so the hand is Revel and Runeblood, Beseech, 2 Deathly Whales. They're going to go 4 Rune Chants. And I think we're still like blocking out anyways this turn, right? So in that case, what do we actually want to give them? I kind of feel like the red Deathly Whale doesn't matter. I feel like the Revel maybe matters the most here. Like attack and a non-attack, I think it's like close the chain. I think it's the Revel. Alright, so go ahead and ponder. So I think this is going to be another turn we're going to try to block the widespread. Although, might not end up working out that way because of our hand. So we'll take the 1 rune chance. And I think we're just like blocking 7 with our reds here. Unfortunately, we saw the double 3 oaks. I think this is still kind of fine. Probably the best Vincent's done against me. Or just against Marlyn in general. Alright, so they banished their own hand to the Deathly Will, take some blood debt. They're set up for a really good turn. I guess the question is like whether or not they're going to be able to capitalize on that blood debt. I feel like Vincent has definitely gotten a lot more consistency pieces with the new card. What is that card called? It's
Fateful Finding.
Faithful Findings?
I think so.
Faithful? Is that Faithful?
Fateful Passage. Painful Passage.
Painful Passage.
Fateful Findings is a movie.
Okay. Painful Passage. That's the card apparently.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
All right, Tegan is deceiving me there. That's fine.
I'm not deceiving you.
Deceiving me.
It's a Neil Breen movie, which is even.
It's a
worse.
Neil Breen. I don't know who Neil Breen is.
Oh, we gotta watch a Neil Breen movie together. You're gonna like lose your mind.
Okay, who is Neil Breen?
He's like the weirdest guy in Vegas,
Neil
which is
Breen.
crazy.
Have I seen a Neil Breen
Vegas.
movie? I don't think I've seen a Neil Breen movie.
No, you wouldn't have been able to see a Neil Breen movie because
The greatest filmmaker of... Okay, that's very high praise. The air opponent's taking a think here. Oh, there it is. There's the Neil Breen.
Neil Breen.
Alright, painful passage. So, getting some go again. We might be dead here. It's looking nasty. Could also just try to send it. How much damage is it? A lot of damage. So, this. Wait, if you banish attack from your hand, if you do, it gets +3 or go. Wait, this doesn't have Gogan. You can't creepers. Did they mean to play the Deathly Delight here instead? Alright, whatever. I think we're just taking this. We're gonna crack 1,000,000 gold. I don't think... Oh, there's Succumb. Oh, Succumb! No! Okay, that's fine. So that's how they get the Gogan. Okay, that makes sense. I probably should have played around that, but... That's okay. I was like, wait, how did they get Gogan? Yes, Succumb, still a card. Forget this card exists half the time. I was distracted by the Neil Breen. Yeah, that's true.
You like Madam Web, you'll love Neil Breen.
I didn't like Madam. I emphatically did not like Madam Web.
I loved it. It was so good.
Tegan loves Madam Web.
It was such a dumb movie.
Yeah.
Webheads rise up.
Okay, so is this... Hold on. I should have actually looked at what the... Hold on. So is this the one that gets +3? I think I, like, severely misplayed here. Mainly on the back of not playing around Succumb. Or maybe just, like, misreading the Vincent card. I think you can play around Succumb by blocking 6, right? We block 6 on the, there. Yeah, this is getting the +3. So I guess now we just block out. Not terrible. And they're making 2 rune chants off the Deathly, though. Yeah, I think the way we play around, or the way we take less damage here is we know they have Succumb in Arsenal because of the way they played this, and then we block 6 on the first thing, right? Yeah, minor punt from my side. Yeah, or we pitch the rune chant as well. Also, definitely probably a better play. We'll soldier on, though. Alright, they're cranking it over with Vincent. I feel like our 3 oaks have not done very much. If they do unpreventable, you block the physical. Yep, that should have been the plan. Too distracted by Neil Breen. Block some more. Oh, look who's here. It's aggro. Oh, we're like dead. Oh no, we punted. That's okay. All right, so we got to. All right, lesson learned here. Don't get distracted by Neil Breen. Oh, hello, aggro. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the thumbnail. I've had that one in the works. I'm glad you enjoyed our little creator collab that you were totally in on. We definitely got your permission beforehand before doing that. It's nice. Oh, Syndra. Okay, I love this matchup. All right, so I've learned a lot about this matchup. They're gonna choose go first, which I think is not correct, but we'll see. Yeah, GG's. You got me really good there. I think I like punted because we were talking about Neil Breen. But yeah, I think I should have noticed that you gave the +3 to the other attack, so that means you like had to have Succumb in Arsenal. But I think your turns are just like really good. He was like trying to block out too much, and like you just like kept tempo really well. But here, I think we're just gonna go ahead and give the take game here. Oh yeah, I think I did see the Succumb in Arsenal. I think I just got like distracted by chat. That's on me.
You got distracted by me. Sorry.
Yeah, that's on Tegan. Yeah. Right, so block 2 here, we have 1 here. I think we're taking the 1. We're just gonna try to block 3 and 4. Yeah, that's just me being a streamer blindness. It happens to the best of us. Not to aggro though. Aggro's immune. Hot and heal, so we can now give the Loan Shark here. Just try to deny Mask on turn 1. Right, they have the Throw Dagger as well. It's fine. So they're going to be leaking a bit of damage here. And now we just have the opportunity to block 6 on this. We want to go again off the Dragon Scales on turn 1. Maybe it's actually worth just doing this. Holding back the Redfin in case we want it for next turn. If they want to go like super aggro here, they technically have the ability to flick knives plus do this. So maybe we actually have to go with the Gold Bait here, which kind of sucks. I think it might be correct if they want to try to flight path this. Oh no, they can't flight path this because this is not draconic, right? Okay, so maybe the actual punt, or maybe the play was to actually block with the Redfin instead. I think that gives us like 1 more value over the course of the game, but I guess holding on to Redfin is not the worst thing in the world. Oh no, why am I getting broad? Did I make a punt already? Okay. So what are we doing here? I kind of almost don't mind port siding here, just to like refresh the gold and get the load. There is a downside though if we whiff that we're not able to cast, or we're not able to overpower the Redfin, but like not overpower Redfin is like kind of fine in this intro anyways. Alright, so I'm hoping for a blue here. We don't need a blue. Awkward. Interesting. So we can actually like just take the loss on the lace here, or then just overpitch it and go off Arsenal. We can also crack the gold and try to fish for it again. Let's get a little greedy. We get blue off the top here, we're still in the same shape, and we get to play the lace on top of it. So we made a gold this turn, so the hook is also free. We're going off an Arsenal, but it's sometimes okay to go off Arsenal against Syndra, because they do have a breaking point, or is that card called Breaking Point? What is that card called? The Rupture 5 attack. They get to destroy your Arsenal. It's called. It's breaking something, right?
Breaking Point.
Is it Breaking Point? Okay. I sometimes know my card names.
I don't blame you for not remembering what that card is.
Okay, I couldn't remember. There's a attack react one that like breaks armor. What's that one called?
I have no idea.
It's the one that Carrie plays. Shout out to Carrie, who was our 5 player.
Or something like that.
There's some attack react that like breaks armor or like puts a -1 counter on something or something. Okay, we have Snatch, Ancestral Empowerment, and Brandless Cinderclaw plus Ignite. Liquefy. Wait. Okay.
Liquefy.
Liquefy. Okay, maybe I'm just like I don't know what. There's something. Is there another like breaking something card?
Breaking Scales.
No, not breaking scales. There's
Oh.
like some other Draconic card. I think I want to still take the Ignite
I
here.
don't know.
I don't know. All the cards sound very similar to my brain.
They all look the same.
Art of the Dragon Scale, maybe. Hold on. Let me search breaking on Fabry. Breaking. Oh no, it's just okay. It's breaking point and breaking scales. Okay, so maybe I'm just like losing my mind. So they have Oath of Loyalty, they have a Snatch in hand, and then they have so they have Oath of Loyalty, Snatch, Ancestral Empowerment, and then Brand with Cinderclaw. This could be a rough turn. Let's try to at least block out the Snatch, though, I think is the game plan. I think the game plan is going to be block out the Snatch. So they have to Empowerment this here if they want to. And I think we're trying to give up Sea Lace plus Drill Shot. Okay, they're not going to go for the Empowerment. Oh, sorry, wait, whoa. Hold on. We passed a little too quickly there. Alright, so we pass here, go to blocks. So we know the Empowerment in hand, but they cannot Empowerment a Snatch. And they also cannot Dragon Scale or Flight Path, because this is not Draconic, right? Target Draconic attack gets go again. So this Snatch hitting effectively does nothing, if I'm understanding this correctly. So we should let them have both the Snatch and the Mask Hit here. Oh, Snatch gets Draconic from Brand. Oh, hold on. Snatch gets Draconic. So this is now Draconic because of the Brand. Yes. Okay, so they can actually go against this. So we do these two, but they cannot Empowerment. But they can get both the Mask. So we definitely want to deny this, right? Okay, yeah, I forgot about the Brand trigger. Or the Brand effect. Yeah, good call out there. So that's why we need a block there. If it was not Draconic, if they didn't have a Brand there, we actually maybe it was better last turn to, instead of taking the Ignite, maybe we're actually supposed to take the Brand with Cinderclaw. Is that a better? Or no, we couldn't take the Brand Cinderclaw because it was yellow, right? Maybe we did do the right thing there. It was a little awkward though. So we have options here. We can either go for the port side YOLO, or we can go for just the pitch port side, and then we're having it out as a yellow. Yeah, I wonder if we are actually supposed to take like the Empowerment there or something. Interesting. I'm gonna go for the yellow on the port side. If we don't find a blue, it's not the worst thing in the world to just like send King Shark, because a lot of the time their hand is mostly attacks. Even if we whip, it's still like maybe disruptive to just send King Shark. It's a little bit greedy though. I think there's a less greedy line of like cracking gold. Okay, finding another King Shark. So we're gonna whip regardless of whether we crack gold or not. I think in this case we'll go ahead and just load. I guess we get to hook this as well. But I think regardless of whether we crack a gold there, maybe it was still just better to port side, because we're like leaving ourselves the out of just like putting gold baited hook on it. Yellow Brand and Ignite can't use Empowerment because you can just 3-block it and it won't go over. That's true. So if we leave them, if we take the Snatch there. So the problem if we leave them with the Ignite is that it's kind of interesting. So if we leave them with the Ignite, the Brand, and the Empowerment, they can still like do the mass trick, but I guess we could deny the third chain link. So actually maybe that's better there to take this Snatch. Yeah, I think you're right. It's probably better there to take the Snatch so that we just have to block whatever the last chain link is. We don't have to care about chain links 2 or 3. Oh no, but the problem with Ignite, right, is that they would get an extra chain link from the Dracon. So we'd have to block on chain link 3, right? Because of Ignite. I feel like it's... Okay, so they have a throw dagger in hand. Alright, King Shark whipping there is unfortunate. I feel like I took a lot of greedy lines this game and maybe didn't get super rewarded for it. That's okay, though. They know they have a throw dagger in hand, which means, like, basically we cannot block this turn functionally, which is fine. They do have full tempo. We're going to be sending a King Shark next turn. But they're gonna obviously going to be... Or I guess we don't have tempo at this point. We're going to be leaking a lot of damage this turn. Alright, so bunch of 0 for 3s. I think... So they have Throw Dagger in hand and 2 unknown cards at this point. Or no, they have not played the Empowerment yet. So this card is Empowerment. Which means we're still, like, really not going to block this turn. That's fine. So Empowerment in Arsenal. Throw Dagger in hand. They're going to be functionally getting two extra looks this hand. Right, pain in the backside is annoying, but I think we're going to just commit to taking the damage here since blocking is not productive. For what it's worth, how many buffs have we seen? We've seen Lace with Butter Up plus Take Aim. So what we could do here is we could do the 5-int Tunic play and try to look for a buff plus blue. And then we do have outs in case like we need to like pitch Codex of Frailty if we draw like double buff or whatever. I think I'm kind of eyeing that for next turn just to like take back the tempo really hard. But yeah, almost for sure here we're going to be leaking a lot of damage. I don't think there's actually like a real way to deny mask this turn. We have tried to like block here, but like the Throw Dagger kind of made it so that it's not super great to do that. All right, flicking us a bunch. One for 4. Yep, seems good. We're gonna go to 10 plus whatever their arsenal is, or if they want to play it versus keep it. I think they want to buy back their daggers there, right? Yeah, probably want to buy back the daggers. All right, let's see if we can rip the tempo back a bit. We're definitely going to need... I think we're going to need a little juice off the top in order to actually, like, get really back in this game. I'm trying to look for a buff here, ideally. All right, Codex is not a buff. Let's pop one more. I think I should actually be pitching the Codex first here. All right, let's undo the Tunic here. So I think we actually, resource-wise, want to open ourselves up to like, pitching the Codex. So we did draw the buff. We can take a look at one more gold if we want to. Is that good? We have the King Shark. We can send 16 off this hand. Problem is, I want to find a way... I don't know if there's a way to like hold on to the Codex, though. Do if we draw another blue. Or no, if we draw another blue, that would let us hold on to the Codex. I think we should still crack here. Yeah, we're going to crack one more time, I think. All right, blue is excellent. Okay, so we're back in. So now, so that was a greedy line, but I think we had to get a little bit greedy, at least based on our current position. Opponents definitely had some good draws, though, and we've not seen our 3 Oaks or our Tar Pits, which I think are kind of our best cards. We have seen our King Sharks, though, which is part of the way there. So yeah, I think we did definitely mess up on that brand turn, maybe? Maybe there's something better we could have done. So their hand was Ignite, Brand, Empowerment, Snatch. And we opted to take the Ignite, even though Brand, Snatch, and Empowerment. Yeah, maybe the choice there was still the Snatch, and we just like leave them with whatever their hand is. Alright, let's go ahead and King Shark them. So let's see what we got here. Okay, another Empowerment, and then we have a Wrath and Devotion. So they can pop Fealty on this. It very much depends on what their arsenal is. This is another interesting. So we can't take the Empowerment. we have the option between the Wrath, the Ravenous Rabble, and the Devotion. For some reason, I'm gravitating towards taking the Rabble here, because they might not have an easy way to get the Draconic Chain Links to reduce this. Another option is we take the Devotion, leave them with the Rabble. I don't think we knew about the Oath that one turn. That's interesting. So if you open with Oath, you still can't use Empowerment that turn. Yeah, or I think the Oath was played from Arsenal, right? Yeah. Sorry, I'm thinking here. Let's go ahead and take, I guess... I feel like I'm tempted to take the Rabble here, but I don't know what's correct. I'm going to take the Rabble here, and then potentially regret my choices. I feel like the Rabble is like the cleanest card there, but if they have like just any 0 for 3 in Arsenal, and it gets awkward, like maybe we're supposed to just take maybe we're supposed to take maybe just the power card there and like not get cute with it. Maybe. I feel like, all right, now I'm like actually regretting the Ravenous. I feel like actually maybe the better play there was to take the yeah, we should have just taken the power card. I think I'm being dumb. I think I'm trying to get a little too cute with it. So I think that turn what we're supposed to do, we're supposed to take the we're definitely supposed to take the specialization there, right? Yeah, unfortunately they did have a start. I mean, how many starters does Syndra have? We could have just got punished, even if we did take the right thing. But it definitely feels bad, like, results-oriented. So we know that they have a Retribution in hand, which they're going to play next Chain Link. This matchup always feels really tough, especially when you, like, don't see, like, the tech cards. We did see our King Sharks, which is good, but, like, I feel like more important than not is, like, 3 Oaks really important. What else is really important? The tar pits are really important. So it's interesting here. They could have actually made resources last chain link if they wanted to. But I guess maybe they're just going to damage me with kunai and I die. Oh, kind of interesting though. So we take the Rabble. Yeah, maybe we're just supposed to like not get cute and just take the Wrath there. Yeah, I think that was maybe a little too cute. Yeah, we're gonna have to be blocking a bit this turn. So they can deal 9 damage just with daggers. A lot. We could... I think we like actually need to draw 3 Oak as like an out here. So we actually need to block with both cards in hand, right? Because they're gonna be dealing 6 after this, assuming that they go like no daggers. So I think our best bet this turn is to just keep blocking. Oh, I guess they don't have the way to no, we can hold a blue here still. So I guess we give up Tunic. They can't flick both their daggers here. No, we're actually fine. We're actually fine, I think. I think we're okay here because they didn't flick both the... Oh no, they get to... Oh, the Dragon Scaler. Okay, so they do actually get to send 2 additional daggers here. Yep. I think maybe the better play was to keep it a bit safe and take the Wrath. Yeah, I think we're dead here. Yeah, the fight path is rough, right? Yeah. I think if you have the opportunity to just take this card, it's probably too good to not, like, there is a scenario where they don't have like a starter in Arsenal and we break their turn, but I think that's like maybe too greedy. Like maybe we just take the best card in their hand. Yeah, they got us good there. Let's see where our 3 Oaks and our tar pits were, which is I think a good metric for how you're doing. So we had 2 tar pits and then we had all our 3 Oaks. I think at the bottom of our deck. So I think where did our pitch deck start? I think we started at this gold tip, right? I don't think we pitched a 3 Oak. I think we might have pitched a golden tip at some point, or maybe we pitched like, I think it's like around here. So it's either the golden tip or the C4 salvage. So we had This is 7 cards across, so we had 14. So 3 Oaks in the bottom, 21, which is not great. And then we only saw, or we didn't, I don't think we even see a tar pit, right? So yeah, I think just unfortunate variance that game. Like we saw some like decent tools, but like I feel like the best metric for success is like how many 3 Oaks and tar pits you see. Maybe we just didn't see those. Although I do think we punted potentially multiple points this game, right? I think we punted on taking the rabble there instead of just taking like the best card in their hand, right? And then we also punted potentially on that one ignite turn, or maybe we were supposed to take like the snatch instead and just like get a little bit less greedy. It's interesting though. I think like you still need to practice the matchup a lot. I think it's like a pretty good one. Like I think just like there's definitely a lot of equity you can find, especially in like if you don't draw well, like the deck can still perform. I think it's just like when you don't draw well, you can definitely like when you don't draw well, I think there's a lot more opportunity for you to like make mistakes. But when you do draw well, like you might not see those mistakes, is I guess what I'm trying to say. All right, let's see if we can get another one though. Let's do one last one. Call it a night. Don't really want to play against a Huntsman last game. But yeah, I think taking the Wrath there was just a lot better. All right, let's see if we can find another one. Huntsman is a real deck. I will say that. Arachnes, they're very good. But outside of that, right, KO. Lots of RKOs. See if we can find like another like. We can try to play against Dodori. See how this goes. I think it's a batter Kraken matchup. And then I think releases are maybe also fine. We probably don't need the releases though. Maybe just run it like this without release and see how that works. So they're gonna choose to go first, which is interesting. I also wonder if this is maybe like Fatigue Dory, which is another matchup where the riches would definitely come in handy. Opponent is running okay, opponent is undoing. Yeah, I think we should get a little less cute there and not take, or yeah, definitely take the Wrath that turn, I think. All right, let's go ahead and just block a bit. I think I'm fine blocking 6 here. If they want to pump over, I'm also fine with that. If they want to provoke, I'm also okay. I think our opponent might have accidentally missideboarded here, which happens, I guess, to the best of us. All right, leaking 3 damage here, which is not the end of the world. I think holding on to this hand is like actually fine. Yeah, I think there's definitely yeah, balance is doing that. It's pretty funny. So we've seen 1 arrow. We have 20 arrows in the deck. We have 19 arrows left in rotation. We're drawing 3 cards and we have the gold. I feel like this is actually a scenario where we're supposed to not get greedy and just like make a gold fin and then cry when we draw the arrow anyways. I feel like, so we have 4 draws, or functionally like 4 draws plus a quiver look, so it's 5 draws. I feel like I've just been like owned by this hand like way too many times though. This is tough. I kind of want to gamble, but I think it's wrong. Our opponent doesn't have a yellow and bin, right? Yeah, I think we're gonna not get greedy here. Yeah, I think we're gonna not go for the greed. We draw an arrow anyways this turn. There's a possibility we just like Arsenal Goldfin, which is not the worst thing in the world. Not great, but not like terrible. Alright, we draw the battering bolt. And now almost just want to like play instead, but then we're pitching the Codex. Awkward. I feel like there have been hands where I've just gotten like burned for not making a Goldfin there, but it's definitely like the it feels bad play when you like draw the arrow anyways. Alright, so let's go ahead and pitch the Codex. Battering bolt. I mean, it's a pretty decent sized battering bolt. But holding on to this Goldfin feels kind of trash, not gonna lie. Yeah, so I think we take the Wrath last turn, we're not like just uber dead. I think there is like a world where like they don't have a starter in Arsenal and maybe like the Wrath doesn't actually do anything. I don't know. I feel like that's maybe like just being too greedy though. Sync plus singing, and then we get some hand info here, which is nice. So they have an unsheathed and a glistening. So I imagine their turn is just going to be unsheath, pitch the glistening, and then maybe come in with Dawnblade again. Right, not too bad from us, though. We got our first battering bolt in the yard. We're pitching our Codex, which is a little weird, but getting some decent tempo here at least. So our opponent here could have anything in Arsenal at this point. I want to just go for a big game trophy turn and just let them have the counters. Could also just end up blocking like 3 with the trophy if we wanted to, if we want to deny counter like really hard. So we can force the card out of Arsenal here if we want, or alternatively we can, for awkward, just making a Gulfin that one turn. Could also just like give them the gold bait hook and seal Ace super early, but that also feels weird. I don't think that's like terrible on this hand though. I kind of actually almost don't mind that. It's like giving this up early so they're not able to snowball really bad. Because like the way we lose is if they have like, we block big game trophy shot, they are in song and they're able to keep that counter forever. I feel like maybe giving the armor there is like actually kind of fine. If you sent the Gulfin instead, you could block with battering next turn and have a good Codex turn. Oh, that's interesting. So we pitch the battering, or no, we don't pitch the battering. We have to like IP with the battering, which is awkward. I kind of still don't mind this a ton. I kind of actually want to pitch the bluefin in the yard in case we need it. This is a bit awkward though. I feel like I'm kind of losing my Marlynn brain towards the end of the night. I feel like I've also just been doing a lot of Proquest this weekend, which is nice. I've been doing a lot of Proquest, which is why like my brain is like kind of falling out. Oh wait, why are we hooking this? We should not be hooking this. Yeah, we're just coming in for 13. Accounting right? No, I don't think oh no, it's 13. Okay. Sorry, my brain is like turning to mush by this time of night. So blocking 4, we can still threaten the gold here, which is at least okay. Yeah, we definitely shouldn't hook this because that just incentivizes them to like give up tempo entirely. Do not want. So we're doing some good damage here, but at least they should be having a little bit extra armor, but not going to complain about a little handicap against Story. Right, so Steel Blade Supremacy. Oh, I don't want it to get Steel Blade Supremacied. So I feel like they're almost guaranteeing representing like an Iron Song or something at this point, or they could just be bluffing. I feel like in any case we should just like block out, give up the tempo, and then just like Arsenal the bolts here. The alternate play is we like block 5, potentially get blown out, and then we on the next turn we do like crack gold, load the battering. But I think that's too cute. I think I'm just gonna block 8 here and just hope they don't have like Singing Steel Blade. I think it's the one card that blows us out here. Block 8 here. I think I kind of like just taking an off turn here, and then next turn we can just let them have a counter. And it's Arsenal the battering. Yeah, nice hanging out with you too, Alexis. Good luck at work. It's a nice hand though. We can keep them off attack reacts next turn. Oh, glistening is annoying. Glistening is annoying. So next Dawnblade gets going in whenever Dawnblade hits, you get a +1 counter. Oh boy. We might need to block this really bad. I don't think we can afford to let them have 3 counters here, even if we're sending a battering for 15 next turn. Could also just say, fuck it, YOLO, we ball, send battering for 15, force them to deal with it, and then we just like lose to the Dawnblade with 3 counters on it. I feel like the Dawnblade's going to get 3 counters anyways, though. Like, even if we end up blocking on this hand, it's like pretty bad. But yeah, I think we're maybe just letting the glistening hit here. I think this is a little bit of a rougher matchup. So they're going to get another counter here. Fine. They're also not using the cards in their hand. So that to me signals they maybe have some like Iron Song. All right, Fatal Engagement also makes sense. I don't think there's any way we could like feasibly block this turn. Unless we just like throw our whole hand in front of the Dawnblade. Even if we throw our full hand in front of the Dawnblade, if they have two things plus if they have like one thing on top of the Fatal Engagement, that's like really bad for us. So I think here we're just sticking to the plan. We're doing pretty well outside of the 3 counters situation. What we have left? So we have 2 3-Oaks left. We pitched a Codex, so we have 2 Codexes left in the deck. Yeah, this is gonna get awkward. I think this matchup's like not great for us, but maybe his Battering Bolt comes in clutch. All right, so the Iron Song makes sense. They also have the beat of the Iron Song and the route. Interesting. All right, Battering Bolt, save us here. This is maybe signaling they have like D-React here. All right, so this means, what does this mean? They could have another Iron Song here, in which case that would be unfortunate. But I don't think there's a ton we can do about that. We could also just block 9 and just like reset the counters though, and then just like Arsenal the Kraken, pass back, and then force them to like develop the counters again. Like we're not doing anything with this 2 resource. Like we're not doing anything with this hand anyways, unless we're like no blocking. So I think block 9 here actually makes a bit of sense. I feel like the way you kind of like can beat Dory sometimes is just having like an ebb and flow between like blocking and not blocking. I think this makes sense here. All right, Warrior's Valor, spoils. All this is fine. So they're gonna go again, or they already have to go again, so the Warriors functionally doing nothing. Yeah, this is a hand we can capitalize on pretty well. I think we're actually gonna tipple this turn too, potentially. We could also just like Sunken Treasure on the second Dawnblade and just like force them to make the counter. Not in terrible shape here though. Alright, so +1 or X is +1. Oh. This is like kind of like a win more card, right? Very Dawnblade is +1, go again. Can't gain power. So we could actually just Sunken Treasure here, which is like functionally the same as the tipple, but it does mean that we're not able to threaten the gold on the Kraken. But it's just higher value. So maybe I'm kind of fine doing this. We could also like give up the Tunic, force them to use a card here if they want that counter. We're not using a Tunic next turn, but we could use it on a following turn. I think I'm fine just like letting them have a counter here. I was Singing Steelblade. I think we just let them have the counter here. Definitely awkward though. Yeah, it's a blue block 3 that costs 0 and gives go again. Is that all this card basically does? X +1. Okay, so like you basically get 1 mode baseline. That kind of makes sense. We do technically have the 5-int Tunic play if we want it, but that is a little risky at this point. I feel like I'm definitely like missing the Fables in this deck, which is a shame. I feel like the Fables are so bad, but they're also so good, right? Like just having like this tipple be an Ataya, I feel like would be really nice right now. Part of me like wants to just like not play with the Fables, or like part of me wants to believe that like the Fables are not necessary, but like I do kind of feel a hole in the deck where the Fables are. Like Riches especially would be really good in this matchup. Ataya is really good. Eyes, like all of them are so good the turn you draw them, which is unfortunate. I want to collect like how much data. Like we're playing a suboptimal version of the list, so I want to like collect data, see like how much that influences the win rate. So this is maybe like good practice at least. Because I think if this tipple was like just any of our fables, it would be really nice right now. See what their hand is. He has Tex in some other matchups, like the Unpreventable is good against Prism, and the defensive Snag is good against Tough Nut. Yeah, it's pretty rough. Oh, we got 2 actions to choose from here. Opponent has a Vigor token. I guess we're just taking the Valor, right? Which is just the best card. So opponent has a blue in hand. But they have the Vigor token anyways. I kind of... Okay, so they pitch here. They have a blue. This is just face up, right? We can just like safely block 6 here. I kind of feel like just block 6, play out Loan Shark, Arsenal Lace, pass. I kind of like this play. Even off the counter, reset them, and then we just get sit on Loan Shark, which is really nice. Alright, so we're setting up for a really nice turn here. We need to draw one of our other 3 oaks. Another big arrow, some buffs would be nice. Alright, this is like pretty good. Almost there. We can find like a random take game. I think this would be like optimal. But we have some gold to crack to kind of like sift to that. Alright, so the unsheathed. I think this is fine, right? So they're not getting the Gogan just yet, so they might need to crack the bolts here. Blade Flurry. Gogan. Bigger. Alright, so they're pitching the Glint. So we could theoretically deny the counter here if we wanted to. We could just like pitch or block 6 here. That would stuff it. The only issue obviously with that is that we have to pitch the Codex to 3 oak and do some fancy stuff. Actually, this is not a bad line though. We block 6 here. We don't use the gold this turn, but then we like lace, make a harpoon, 3 oak off tunic, and then we just hope to draw blues off top. This could work. Yeah, let's do this. Block 6. Yeah, tunic is live. I think we block 6 here. I don't think we want to go with the tunic because we have the tunic to also like unbrick our 3 oak. Yeah, I don't mind this actually. Oh, Pseudo, if you're in the chat, don't go watch that Cinder game. I think we played it multiple times. that was pretty bad. We're doing better in the story game, I think. I think we've had some good heads up plays this game, so proud of those. Yeah, we can definitely crack the 6 resources here, I think, pretty easily. I think we are. How many big arrows do we have left in the deck? I think 2 battering, 2 king shark. How many cards do we think? We're at turn 8. So maybe we have roughly like 14 cards. So maybe we have like 14 cards left in deck. Yeah, opponent is trying to block the arcane damage. You didn't know about that? Yeah, we got some arcane in the deck. Don't worry about it. Yeah, we'd probably be doing a lot worse if our opponent had another helmet. But yeah, happens to the best of us. We miss our Talachar sideboard. Alright, so I think I'm codexing here. We do have some big harpoons left in the deck still, but I think I'd rather just guarantee it this turn. So let's... Do we want the Kraken or do we want the battering? I think I'm going to go for the Kraken just for max greed. Opponent gets a C... Oh, the opponent has a CNC. Wait, what the fuck? I forgot about that. Yeah, I think our opponent's also fact-checking us. Oh, for what it's worth, Pseudo, we're also playing the non-Fable version of the list. So we're collecting some data to see how bad the Fables are needed. Initial impressions are kind of badly, but we'll see. Yeah. Command and Conquer is interesting here. Oh, they're discarding another Command and Conquer. Okay. So I guess we're getting Command and Conquer regardless here. Alright, Jura Blues, which is nice. CNC, no helmet. We gotta love the grind. Yeah, that's true. Let's... Alright, so this is perfect. We can just like discard the Codex of Bloodrot end of turn, or we can keep it Ponder. So I think, how likely are we to hit with Hook here? Unless they can block with their full hand and do react, then we are going to be able to hit with Hook here. We also like don't have to hook, I guess. I'm gonna hook. Why not? We're getting like close to the end of the game, so we might not get many hook activations left. So I think this is fine. Yeah, if we can like get a blue action out of their hand here, I think that's gonna be really big. But I think regardless of what they do, they're always gonna be able to use the Vigor on the CNC. It's potentially interesting here, but I do like the hook play at least. All right, we have an Emboldened Blade and a Heart of Fyendal. So they pitch the Heart. We're definitely taking this though. All right, I think we're doing pretty good here. So I think it's pretty likely we're gonna just try to block the CNC next turn. So I almost want to just like Arsenal the Bloodrot, even though we know it's gonna like we either lose it or we like Loan Shark. I think it's fine to have the block card in hand at least. Oh, you think Arsenal the Loan Shark? Oh, interesting. I was thinking that the Codex of Bloodrot. What was I thinking? I was thinking like maybe we were just gonna block anyways, and then just like start cracking gold, like a maniac. I kind of like. That's like suspect, right? I think we do. I think we can like kind of do this though, right? You think if we let the shark go? I want to agree to go to 1. Okay, I see what you're cooking here. So one thing we could theoretically do is just let the Codex of Bloodrot go. They're going to 5. They have 3 armor. Let's... I think I'm just going to take this damage. Alright. I think it's like kind of the same. I think it's like maybe slightly worse to hold on the Loan Shark though. I think I think it probably like doesn't matter very much here. Losing the Bloodrot is like a little bit painful because we could end up killing them with the Bloodrot on their turn. But yeah, we have some gas here, I think. So how do we start this? I think we start with the Tipple, right? Start with the Tipple and let's just start cracking some gold. Codex strips a card from me, and that's also true because they are going to get the CNC back. So I think what I'm going to do is actually crack gold first. No, let's go into Tipple first. Go ahead and Tipple, grab that. All right, I think we're going to just use this blue to like turn it into like 4 resources, my goal. So the only awkward thing is we do still have some big arrows in first cycle. I think we have two red arrows in first cycle, so we might not end up playing this Codex, actually. We could Codex now, but I think I want to crack 1 more and just see what we hit. All right, so we get another blue. That's great. So now we can just do this. Grab this. Yeah, I think we figured it out. We figured it out. Never punished. Never punished. We did have like some. I think we still have like 2 red arrows left in first cycle, which like we should be coming up pretty soon. Yeah, we also get to hook here, which is nice. Yeah, never punished. I don't even know if that was greedy. That might have been greedy. Whatever. If you're not punished for your greed, does it really matter, right? Like, who cares? I think like there's definitely like a real possibility we got punished there. Like, we did have like another 3 oak in the deck though. I think we're not getting that punished. All right, opponent goes to 1. The opponent's gonna take. They're gonna go 1 next turn. They get back the CNC. We have full tempo. I almost don't want to Arsenal this. I think we're not going to because we have like Battering Bolt. All right, so how many pumps do we have left? Let's take an inventory. Our opponent's going to 1. We can... How many trophy shots have we used? We've seen all trophy shots. We've seen all tips, all lace. We have 1 pre-med left. No take aims. I forget how we boarded. But I think we only have exactly 1 buff left. is still fine. I think it's 1 buff in first cycle, though. Crack a little bit of gold and just see what we get. No reason not to when we're sitting on this much, I think. I think I'm going to crack one last one. Oh, we have catch of the day. Yeah. That's also another one. So we have 2 catch of the day left. All right, I think we're cooking. I don't know if that's first cycle, though. I think I kind of want to just stop here. We could look for 1 more gold. I think I'm going to look off 1 more. I'm going to hold on to the block. Right, pre-mid's perfect. All right, so now we can battering. Now we can just like save the 3 up for next turn, right? So now we don't even need to use this. We should actually crack the gold so we don't die, though. Yeah, I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna crack the gold here, discard the gold fin to the loan shark in a turn, and then maybe be fine with that. Getting a little dicey though. I'm kind of worried about finishing the game at this point. I think if we actually held on to that blood rot, it would have made like a pretty big difference. But we'll see. Oh, we have the ponder token too. I mean, that's true. If we have the ponder, we won already. Sorry, how's are you talking about the ponder from the blood rot that we got destroyed? Or are we talking about the ponder from the pre-med? Ah, sigil believe. I think our opponent might be in the tank here. On hit, oh yeah, on hit ponder is on hit death. Right. Yeah. Right. So if we ever make a ponder here, we win anyways. Alright, I'll give our opponent a second here to think there. Let me hit them with a refresh. Let's see. Yeah, we cannot. There's never a world where we make a ponder here, because if we get a ponder, then they die. So we need to make a gold fin here. Interesting. Well, if they do leave, we can always just like take a look at their hand and make the box for them. But I think I don't know. Like, I feel like we kind of won, but like maybe not. Like maybe we just like couldn't fully get over the finish line. Because like I think we're out of buffs at this point, right? I guess we have the catch of the days. Like maybe we can get them with like overpower next turn. Right. I think I'm gonna call it on them leaving. All right, so let's take a look at their hand. So their hand was a tie. Okay, so they're gonna die this turn. So we won this turn, which is good because they had a tie on their hand. Why they boarded a tie into Marlynn, anyone's guess. Maybe it's just a blue in their deck. Who knows? But Singing Steel Blade, Glistening, so they're going to die, and then they have the CNC. We have 3 oak. So if they don't die, let's say this was a 3 block. They go to 1 this turn. Or they block with their grains. They don't take the battering bolt damage, and then we 3 oak next turn. What are we drawing? So we're drawing Codex of Blood Rot. Okay, so I think this next hand kills them anyways, right? Because we just have Catch of the Day plus Codex of Blood Rot, and that gets the way there. All right, so I think we just barely got there. I think I made some suspect plays that game, but like at least I think I piloted it macro level correctly, which is maybe like more than I can say for some of the other games we played tonight. But yeah, I think that's gonna be the deck for today. So this is, again, we're gonna try and collect some data this week on this Marlynn budget list. So this is just ignoring all the fables. Already off to a good start. So I think what are we? Oh, we're at 40% already. Oh no. What did we lose against? Oh, we lost against the Vincent, the Fang. Okay, Vincent, Fang, and Syndra. I don't know what we lost against Vincent. That's probably on me. But anyways, yeah, off to a little bit of a rocky start, but it's okay. It's okay. We're gonna work on the non-fable deck list and see how it goes. And then if it's abysmally bad win rate, then we can point to it and say, oh, you absolutely need the fables to play Marlynn. So we're doing some experimentation here, which is important. But yeah, I'm gonna post this deck list in case anyone wants it. So this is like the fable version of Marlynn that you can go and play for only $700, which is quote unquote budget list. Yeah, not really a budget list, but yeah. And yeah, no sideboard for this deck. I think if you want to copy the sideboard, it's like pretty similar to some of the other lists that we posted. Like, I think at a macro level, this is like very similar to like the solve list that we posted earlier, or at least the play patterns are like largely the same. So nothing like super interesting with like the conquerors or anything. Like this is basically just like the solve version of Marlynn without the fables. I kind of wanted to like keep it at a baseline like that. But yeah, let me know what you all think of the deck. We're gonna collect some data this week and just see like how it performs versus like the normal list and see what like compare the win rates and see how it goes. But off to a little bit of a rocky start, but that's okay. I think that's more pilot issue than anything. All right. But yeah, thank you all for stopping by. We'll see y'all. I think Wednesday we're probably gonna do another stream. I think Tegan's working on the Zen doc, so we're gonna try to do some more streams this week just so we have some space to kind of like edit that out. Yeah, and thank y'all for watching the stream. If you want to like it, follow, whatever, do all that stuff. Yeah, we're almost at 2K subs, which we have something very special planned for as well, which I'm not going to spoil. But yeah, thank y'all for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.